G'day everyone, Heath from the Antipodean D20 here. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. Now I'm just going to make sure we've got mic. Mic looks like it's good. I've recently, so no headphones today. I've recently upgraded my webcam. The old webcam, the mic kept dropping in and out, so I had to use headphones. So this new one, hopefully clearer picture, clearer sound. So if at any stage you can't hear me, it becomes muffled or whatever, let me know and I'll have to try and shuffle to the old one and the headsets or just the headsets with the new camera. We'll work it out. We'll get there. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a great day today. So this is a little bit overdue. Christmas and New Year's and that have been just crazy busy at my 9 to 5. So I wanted to do, I did book 5 Shadow on the Sand. I did that back in November. I wanted to do another one in December and one in January, but alas, it was not to be. Oh, I just realized I've left my book over here. Oh, yeah, organized, Heath. So Book 6, Kingdom of Terror. This is where we go from the basic edition Lone Wolf books where you have the 10 basic skills, and now you're going into what they call the Magnakai skills. So there is a little bit of extra in the background sort of stuff that I did think about getting it pre-prepared and have it to launch straight into the adventure. And I thought, you know what, no, this is meant to be for anyone who knows about Lone Wolf but has never actually picked up the book, that transition thing. If you've joined us for the first time, welcome and thank you. This is the first book of the sort of the second series of Lone Wolf. It will obviously contain spoilers for the first 5. I'd love to invite you to continue watching. If you really wanted to start with book 1, stop watching now, find our video on book 1 and go from there. However, here we are. It's going to be a fun ride. Why not hang around? So book 6, Kingdoms of Terror. So the original Beaver book. Then it moved into the alt cover. Now it's kind of, you know, anything green, because I'm using a green screen, is going to show up. You know, my Lone Wolf shirt here is full of green. So anywho, I've thought of doing a blue screen, and you know, I use blue as well, so it is what it is. So that's the alt cover. And then this is the one. This is actually my book from when I was a kid back in the day. If we very, very gently open to the Kai scroll, there's my adolescent handwriting there. So that's the actual book. This edition was printed in 1990. So there you go. Not bad for a 30-year-old book. So that's that there. I won't even look at what skills I had in there, because we're going to carry over what we had from last time in equipment, and we're going to pick our new skills this time around. Who have we got with us? We've got Jason Chu. G'day, Jason. We've got Mark Clover. G'day, Mark. We've got Kim George. G'day, Kim. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're a Lone Wolf fan, welcome. If you're not a Lone Wolf fan, welcome. Lone Wolf, basically, Lone Wolf is the brain child of the late great Joe Deaver. So let's pop a picture up there. There's Joe 2 days ago or a day ago, depending where you are in the world. It was his birthday. It would have been his 65th birthday if not for the unfortunate fact that Joe passed away in 2016. So we, I tried to remember this guy that gave so much to me as a child. Happy birthday, Joe. Alrighty. Let's get right into this. I'm just going to bring up the stream. So here we are. We're using Project Aeon. This was Joe's millennial gift to his millennium gift, not millennial gift. His millennium gift was to give these books over to Project Aeon so that people could access them if you didn't have the book in its print form. Books 1 through to 20 are relatively easy to find. Books 21 through to 28, they're the tough ones. There wasn't a great range of those printed, and they were only printed in that Red Fox edition. A lot of the US fans didn't get any of them. The the Pacer Berkeley books did not were not printed in 21 through to 28, unfortunately. So yes, so this was a great Millennium gift by Joe. I have, let me just click on. I've got more fun set up here. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to. There we are. There we are. I have a fun setup so that we can. I'm just going to pop that out of there. There we are. Look at that. I have some dice, and I have a new camera set up. So that I've got a tripod, I've got some lights. Here we go. Look at that. Wow, there we are. I've got some Q Workshop dice. This is Level Up dice in a dice tray. That's their logo there. And we've got some Q Workshop dice that we can use in place of our random number table. So I've got some fun things there. But you can see what I'm rolling as we do it. So that's going to be a lot of fun right there. So. Now, I'm going to just maybe turn that off. Do I need that on? It's going to drain battery power real quick. Yeah, I might have it on. Okay, I'm going to turn it off until I need it. Let's drop that out of the stream. Alrighty, one-man show. Have to bear with me. All the technical stuff done by me, read by me. Anyway, I can feel my wife already rolling her eyes and say, get on with it, which we will. All right, so the biggest change for this in Kingdom of Terror is the Magnikai skills changeover from the basic Kai skills. So we basically achieve all 10 of the basic skills, and we will go into choosing the new ones. Alrighty, so you are Lone Wolf, the last Kai Master of Summerland. So Kingdom of Terror, you follow a trail of ancient clues that will take you deep into the hostile Stormlands. So in book 5, in Shadow on the Sand, we found the Book of the Magnakai. This is like the original codex that the first Kai Lord put together and wrote down his journey beyond the first basic 10 skills. So that's what we're looking for. It's a lead on from that. So just, you know, Joe created this. I played in 1977, played Dungeons and Dragons, loved it. Lone Wolf Magnum was originally Shinarao, or Chinarao, I'm not sure how the pronunciation, I'll have to check with that. It was meant to be a homebrew world for AD&D. He saw the success of the fighting fantasy and went, okay, cool, I can make this as a linear adventure where you take the same character through the books. And that's what I really liked. I really liked the fighting fantasy. Hats off to the guys. I did like it, but the chopping and changing between settings and characters didn't sit with me. It was good, but it didn't sit with me. And when I found Lone Wolf, it was like, yes, I like this. You can continue through. That was my biggest love. Gary Chalk illustrated. I love his artwork. So let's get on to it. Table of contents. Okay, so where do we go into dedicate? Oh, hang on. That's where. Wrong button. Forward. That's what I want. Forward. The dedication, Philip and Allison. So acknowledgements from Joe. Okay, so not to diminish them, but I feel like we must spin on because we've got things to do. You are Kai Master Lone Wolf, last of the Kai Lords of Summerland. Okay, so 3 years have passed since your triumph over the Dark Lord Harkon at the Tomb of the Majan. For the northern realm of Summerland, these have been 3 years of peace and prosperity. Since Harkon's defeat, the power of the Dark Lords have waned. Rumors abound that a civil war rages in Helgdad as the lesser Dark Lords fight for power and dominion over the city. However, it is a widely held belief in Summerland that your discovery of the lost Summerlanding treasure, the Book of the Magnakai, is the real reason for their power struggle. The Book of the Magnakai is legendary in Summerland. With the wisdom of the Magnakai, Sun Eagle, he was the first guy, the first Grand Master, instilled the disciplines into the warriors of Summerland that were to protect your land from devastation at the hands of the Dark Lords. The Book of the Magnakai was lost hundreds of years ago, but its wisdom was kept alive, handed down through generations of Kai, so they too could share the strength to resist their eternal enemies. When you discovered the Book of the Magnakai, you gave a solemn pledge to restore the Kai to their former glory and so ensure the security of your land in the years to come. You returned to your homeland and in the seclusion of the monastery in the hills, you set about the study of the Magnakai disciplines. It is an exacting task, a trial of physical strength and mental fortitude. The seasons came and went, but you were unaware of the passage of time, lost in your quest for the knowledge and the skills of your warrior kin. 3 years of determined study passed, revealing the secrets of 3 of the Magnakai disciplines. However, the others cannot be learnt by study alone. In order to fulfill your pledge to restore the Kai, you must complete the quest first made by Sun Eagle over 1,000 years ago. When he had finally completed his quest, he recorded all of his experiences in the book of the Magnikai, but the script has faded with passing years, and now few words remain to guide you. Seek and find the Law Stone of Veretta, for this alone holds the power and the wisdom of the few words you can still decipher in the Grandmaster's Chronicle. Although the verse is brief, you are not without hope, for you recognize the name Veretta. It is one of the oldest cities of Magnaman, lying in the Stornlands beyond the Macken Gorge, far to the south of Summerlin. You realize that you must set out upon the quest without delay, for the war in Helgdad will not last indefinitely, and the Dark Lords swore long ago to conquer your country and destroy your people. As soon as their civil strife is resolved, the victorious lords of evil will turn on Summerlin and summon the creatures of the Dark Realm to thwart your quest. Alrighty, so there we are. So we're basically looking for the next step of this Kai Lord journey. So combat skill and endurance. Now, from last time, our combat skill was 15, but with some buffs with the sword, with the skills, now it was 29. The endurance points also was with some bits and pieces made it. It was 28, made it 32, and that included a chainmail waistcoat. We may or may not lose or get that or keep that. So this part here is designed, if you're doing this adventure for the first time, you haven't done books 1 through to 5, you can complete yours. Here we are. If you successfully completed, you can carry it over. You can carry over weapons and special items. Okay, so backpack items, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm assuming that a lot of the backpack items Lone Wolf may have left at the monastery. Looking at what we had, the only thing we had left over from the backpack was some special rations. I think we can sort of, it might have been like, trail mix or something like that. So we don't have to worry too much about that. Magnakai disciplines. Okay. So you've mastered all 10 basic skills. After studying the book of the Magnikai, you have reached the rank of Kai Master Superior, which means that you have learnt 3 of the Magnakai skills, disciplines rather, listed below. It's up to you to choose the 3. Blah, blah, blah. You can use the right ones. Now they have these things called law circles of the Magnakai. So if I click that, it just goes a little further down the page. So we won't worry about that yet. I think we'll just look at what skills. We might worry, if we happen to pick skills that help the law circles, that's great. Otherwise, I think out of the 10, I think coming up in a moment, 10 or more, 10, 7 books. Yeah, 10 skills, 3 now, 7 books to continue. We'll let that unfold as it unfolds. So these will be the advanced versions of what we've read before. So instead of weapon skill, it's now weapon mastery. Enables Kai Master to become proficient in use. It adds 3 to your combat skill. Now I'm trying to remember whether these stack with old bonuses from the other ones. I don't think it does. I'm just going to have a quick scroll down here. So this is all the descriptions, of course. I don't think they stack. So I think it's like the next version up. I guess if we say weapon mastery, the last one I think it gave you 2. This time it gives you 3. If you didn't pick it, I think you'd still be able to have 2 from the weapon skill, the basic one. So we'll leave that. So weapon mastery. So obviously you pick a weapon. In this one now, the notable difference between the first 5 books and now book 6 is you can get a bow. This previous table had sword on there twice in place of the bow. So now you can have cool things like bows. In the original one, they didn't do that. Alrighty. So that's weapon mastery. So +3. Animal control enables you to communicate, maybe guide an animal to help you, and it also helps you fight from the saddle, which if we're traveling by overland, there's a good chance it's by horse, so that might not be a bad thing. Curing, Curing allows you to restore 1 endurance point, as well as other bits and pieces. Now, see, this is a weird thing. Like, why wouldn't healing let you do the same thing? I can only say that the curing skill, as well as that 1 endurance point, maybe give you more of a buff. So it says you can. So the Magnakai discipline enables a Kai master to cure disease, blindness, and any combat wounds sustained by others as well as himself. It provides you with a bit of herbal mastery there in the way of identifying herbs, roots, and potions. So that's the extra part there. So that's one to look at. Invisibility. Now this is up from camouflage. So again, enables you to adopt, blend in, that sort of thing. So maybe this is like a better version of that. Hunt mastery. So this is the next one up from hunting. Okay, so it enables you to ignore any loss of combat skill points due to a surprise attack. So there's the extra bit of that. Pathmanship. This is the upskill of tracking. So I think it gives you a little bit extra. Read, decipher footprints, even if they've been disturbed, that's good. Gift of intuitively knowing where north is. That's also very handy, especially if you've left roads and there's no signs. Psi Surge. Now this is the upskill of Mind Blast. So it looks like it lets you add 4 to the skill. So here we are down here. So if you choose a skill, okay, so Psi Surge enables you to add 4, but you've got to take 2 endurance points away, basically your health each round if you use it. Mind Blast lets you add 2. So I'm thinking that Mind Blast you'd still be able to use even if you didn't have Psi Surge. If you had Psi Surge, it gives you the extra buff of those 4 points rather than 2 in your combat ability, but you lose some endurance. You lose those hit points when you're using it. Psi Screen. So this is the upskill of Mind Shield. This is where it prevents you from losing endurance, or so in some instances, in non-combat, it means that you're not prone or something like that. So it looks like a defense against hypnosis and supernatural illusions, which is also very cool. Nexus. So this is the upskill from Mind Over Matter. So you, as well as being able to move things by the power of your mind, it looks like you can also have some little bit of control over extremities of temperature, heat and cold, without losing endurance points. I do recall that in book 3, Caverns of Cult, when we lose a little bit of endurance because of extreme cold. It's in the extreme north. Divination is the upskill of Sixth Sense. So allows you to know of unseen or imminent danger. It looks like the upskill also enables you to use a bit of telepathically being able to contact people. So there's the 10 Magnikai skills. Some, if we don't pick, still have those basic skills that we can use. So 3 out of the 10. I would love to hear any input. I'm just going to quickly take myself off camera because I've just realized the pen I've got is not writing correctly. Oh, excuse me, I'll take myself off camera for a moment. Let's see if there's I'll try and find where the actual breakdown of the list is. So rather than the breakdown, like a list of, no, okay. No, it's not giving me a list. Okay, that doesn't help, but okay. So if we go to law circles, there we go. So there's your law circles. So you can see weapon mastery, hunt mastery, animal control, curing, invisibility, hunt mastery, pathmanship, Psi Surge, Psi Screen, Nexus, and divination. They all give a little extra bonus, but what I was after is there is a concise list of the skills there. I'm just going to quickly take myself off camera, go grab a pen that wants to play nicely, and I'll be back in just a second. Alrighty, so let's have a look at what skills there are. So weapon mastery, hunt mastery, animal control, curing, invisibility, hunt mastery, pathmanship, psi surge, psi screen, nexus, and divination. And we can pick 3 of them. My suggestions would be divination, so we can know of any danger on the horizon. So we're here, divination. So that would be one of my picks. Psi screen possibly, so we make sure we don't get attacked by anything with mind powers. Now, pathmanship, we're going into unknown territory, could be helpful. Hunt mastery could be helpful. Invisibility could be helpful. Curing is definitely helpful with restoring endurance points, but we can do that with healing from our basic skills. This also allows us to identify things, so that also is helpful. Animal control would be helpful. Okay, so pretty much all of them could be helpful. So weapon mastery enables you to add 3 to your combat skill, whereas before we could add 2. So we've kind of still got that, and I believe we had that with sword. So we probably don't need weapon mastery just yet. Curing we could get away with because we've got that 1 point of healing from healing. Invisibility allows us to blend in. Hunt mastery allows us to hunt for things. Pathmanship enable us to find our way around a little bit as well. Psi surge, we probably don't need that just yet. We can still use mind blast. Psi screen is kind of helpful. I've just realised I can drink my cup of tea without having to mute my mic because the mic's not right there in my face. If you can hear what sounds like a thunderstorm in the background, that's just the kettle going. I've used my mental abilities to turn the kettle on. Okay, so I reckon divination, because that's always good. I mean, you can hunt, you can track, you can do, but if you don't know, bad things are on their way, even at the last minute. That, and the telepathy might help as well, especially if something can't verbally communicate. So what have we got? Psi screen, pathmanship, hunt mastery, invisibility, curing, animal control, weapon mastery. Weapon mastery I think we'll pass on. Animal control I think we might pass on as well. Curing is a possibility. Invisibility is a possibility. Hunt mastery is a possibility. Pathmanship is a possibility. Psi surge I think we can pass on for a moment because we can use mind blast. Psi screen might be a good point. If you have any thoughts, please pop them into the chat. I'm happy to take any ideas or any contributions is what I was trying to say. So we've got, all right, so divination, nexus, psi screen. Almost tempted to roll randomly. Let's do a random roll. Let me turn all this accoutrement on. Let's get the camera going on this thing here. Let's pop it on. Is it on? Yes, it's on. Alrighty. So we will use the dwarf. So 5. 5 is our first one. And that skill on the list of 5. So let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is hunt mastery. There we go. We'll put hunt mastery down. All right. Hunt mastery. I'm almost tempted to put psi screen on there because we want to make sure that we're not getting caught out. But mind over matter is not a bad thing either. Nexus. Looking at the clock means I've got to hurry up and pick something, otherwise we're going to run out of time reading this. I'm hoping to get this book done in 2 hours, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Alrighty. Let's roll again. 8. What is 8? So hunt mastery is 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is size screen. Let's take that as a sign. Size screen. Alrighty. Now let's have a quick look to see if okay, where's the law circle stuff? We'll just have a quick look at that first, and we can come back to it. So we've got divination, we've got size screen, and hunt mastery. So there's nothing there that lines up that we can use for those. So that's right. That's okay. So we don't have to worry about that just yet. Alrighty, scrolling back down. I hope it's not making you giddy. So blah blah blah. Okay, next one. So there's our 3 skills. Equipment. So we've got a map of the Stormlands. Map of the Stormlands. I was going to try and copy that. Okay, we can always get back to this. We can always get back to the map so we can see what's going on. Right. Open that in a new link. I'm just quickly making a copy of this map so that we can use that very shortly. Alrighty. Okay, and we've got some gold crowns. So last time we had gold crowns. We had 40 gold crowns. We can add 10 random number and add 10. We'll add 10 will bring us to 50, and that's how many gold crowns we can have. So I mean, as a kid when I was playing this, I used to actually say that the extra was left at the Kai monastery. Not that the Kai would be wanting anything. I think we're doing all right. All right, so 5 items. So before we go choosing, let's have a little sneak peek at. I'm just going to remove that. So how do I do this? Nope. Hang on. Bingo. There we are. All right. So this is our chart from the first game, and as you can see under the specials, we've got a lot of special equipment there, sword, weapons, all that sort of thing. So we're going to quickly put that. Oh, hang on. I'm all out of guff here. No, there we are. That's what we want. Alrighty. So backpack. Now backpack said we couldn't keep anything. Weapons, it said we could. So we had a sword and a dagger. Now we had a bunch of weapons from the special items as well. So let's see, weapons. So sword, dagger. I mean, it's always good to have a backup weapon with like a sword in case you don't want to reveal the summer sword. Summer sword's a beacon of good. Anything evil will notice this thing straight away. So maybe we want to have chop at someone without revealing who we are. So special items. So crystal star pendant. Now, when we rescued the wizard in book 1, Bannerton, he gave us this crystal star pendant. Dagger of Vashna from book 4. I don't know whether it's wise taking that with or whether it's we should leave it at the monastery, but we'll keep it. Summer sword or summer sword or however you want to pronounce it, is a +8 +10. So if you've got mastery in swords, which we have from our basic, it gives us a +10. So that gives us a buff right there. Shield gave us +2 combat skill. So I'll add all this up in just a moment when we update. The fire sphere. Now the fire sphere was a round object that sort of, like a ball, obviously, sphere popped open, and there was a magical flame in there that you could use for a campfire, and it was quite warm. So we've got the fire sphere, and that was, we found that in Caverns of Cult in book 3. Let's see, Bluestone Triangle. Now, Bluestone Triangle was from book 3. We had it in book 4. It was useful in book 4, but we may not need it. We may need it. Let's just take it just in case. Bluestone Triangle. It was on a leather cord, and that hang around your neck. Silver Helm. Now, this was quite an ornate helmet that we found in book 3. And it was very cool. So we keep that. It's got like a visor and this big dragon plumage type thing on the top there, and looked very cool. I should grab some pics of these and put them up in amongst. Now we had a chainmail waistcoat that was under special items because we're wearing it. We don't have it. We have it on instead of in the bag. That gave us 4 endurance points. So that's where that 28 to 32 buff was. We had a jeweled mace, we had a map, we had a jailer's key, copper key, brass whistle. Now, the jeweled mace, I'm pretty sure we can leave behind. I don't think we need that. The map was the map of Vasagonia, which I don't think we need. We've got a map now as the Stornlands, so we can write map Stornlands. Okay, jailer's key, copper key, brass whistle. I think we can leave all that behind. Just making a note there. Okay, so it gives us plus 10, plus 12, plus things. So that means our combat skill is indeed 29, up from 15. Plus 10 from the summer sword. So the summer sword gives us plus 8, plus 2 because of weapon skill from the basics. We've got the silver helmet gives us plus 2, and we've got a shield that gives us plus 2. So our normal combat skill was 15, plus the 14 gives us a combat skill of 29. Our endurance points is normally 28. We have the chainmail waistcoat that gives us plus 4 on there. So we've got an endurance, our health. So combat skill is just physical. That's the physical skills rolled into one. Endurance is your health and a lot of other bits and pieces rolled into one. Alrighty, let's pick some bits and pieces to take with. So sword we don't need. Potion of Lamspur. So this is a healing. This is a healing item. It means you can have a quick heal. Warhammer we don't need. Bow. Oh, bow we don't have. Bow we probably could take. So and a quiver with 6 arrows. Now that's, I think, definitely a thing to think about. 4 meals. Each one counts as 1 backpack. Now the 4 meals counts as 1 item that we can take up to the 4. Quarterstaff we don't need. Padded leather waistcoat we don't need because we've got the chainmail waistcoat. Rope, dagger we've got. Tinder. Now tinderbox, this is something new. Now tinderbox we can take. We've also got the fire sphere, so we may not need that. Axe we don't need, so we can take 5 of these things. Okay, sword no, potion maybe, warhammer no, bow maybe, quiver if we take the bow. Meals, quarterstaff no, waistcoat no, rope maybe, dagger no, tinderbox interesting. I don't think we need to because we've got the fire sphere. So axe I don't think we need. So I would say let's take the bow and quiver. So now a bow is a weapon. We can only carry 2. So either we discard our sword or our dagger. I'm going to write quiver in the special items next to the weapons here on the little sheet. I'm just going to put arrows, so we know how many we've got. I'll put 6. I'll put 6 there. Now it says contains 6 arrows. I don't know how many total it's meant to contain. It might tell us down here. How much can you carry? 2 items. Doesn't say anything about quiver, how many arrows you can have in your quiver. Oh no, here we go. This might tell us. Opportunities, you have to have 1. Yes. Can't use it hand to hand, obviously. Okay. Quiver, at least 1 arrow. Erase. Okay. Doesn't say how many arrows we can have. Okay, we'll leave that fairly open-ended. Other bits and pieces, food, potion. Okay. So I think since we've got the summer sword, maybe we'll leave the sword behind to take the bow. I reckon that might be an idea. I reckon let's leave the sword behind, and let's take the bow. Because a dagger is also quite useful. You know, you could not pick a lock, but you could force a lock or something with a dagger. So I reckon we'll ditch the sword, and we'll take the bow, and we'll take the quiver. So that's 2 meals. We've got hunt mastery, which, if you remember, means we don't need to eat. So maybe we're not worried about the food at this point in time. There might be opportunity to have now rope could be useful. Potion, maybe we take the potion just in case we get hurt. Potion of Lumspur plus 4 EP. So that's 1, 2, 3, 3 things, 2 more to choose. Okay, maybe we do take the rope. Anyone knows Boondock Saints? What do you need rope for? You always need rope. It's like a towel. So tinderbox or meals. Let's have a look here. Tinderbox or meals. Let's take the meals. Tinderbox, we've got a thing. We'll take the meals. We'll take them all, because you never know if or when or what. Maybe you meet someone and they don't have any food. You can give them food. You know, you can always hunt for yourselves. Alrighty. So we've done all that. Scrolling down, so I hope not making anyone giddy. Okay. Backpack special, gold, food, potions forward. Okay, combat. Combat essentially is my skill minus his skill, and we find it on the random number table. We roll a d10 to see how it all, the random number table is in the back of the books. In this case, we're going to use a dice. Combat results table is basically sort of a matrix square of this. You don't need to worry about just yet, and it helps resolve physical combat. Okay, we'll scroll through that. Evasion. If we're given the opportunity, we can like dodge out of a fight and run away. Sometimes, you know, running away is not a bad thing. Sometimes you can recognize that a situation or a foe might be a little bit dire, and so you've got to leg it, and that's okay. That's not a problem. So you are a Kai Master Superior when we start this. Forward. Law Circle, so we've had a look at that. We don't get any bonuses just yet. Maybe we won't get any in the next one because we haven't got any of these stacked. Oh, you know, if we took Weapon Mastery with Hunt Mastery, we might get Circle of Fire. So we'll see how we go with that next time. So forward. Improved disciplines. Now this is a part where we'll see a lot more of in later books, where as you increase in skill, some of the powers within each of these disciplines will unlock. So it says here, divination. When you're a Scion Kai, you can do spirit walk, which means you can kind of essentially leave your body and scout ahead as essentially as an out-of-body experience. So where is it here? So that's you've got a few more books to go. That's you know, that one just there. So we've got a bit to go before we can get to that. Magnakai wisdom. So basically, let the power of spirit of may the spirit of Sun Eagle, you know, guide you. You know, be aware of red herrings. You know, make sure you're not going to, you know, be selective in what you want to keep. There we go. So here we are, section 1 finally, and I'm sorry it's taken us 3/4 of an hour to get there. I did try to rush through it a little bit more so that we weren't we weren't having to slow down too much. I'm just going to turn that off for the moment, save the little battery of that. Okay, so the courtyard of the Kai Monastery is strangely silent the morning you begin the quest. A blanket of frost sparkles on the battlements, and the air is crisp and clear as you guide your horse down the steep hill track that disappears into the Freiland forest. It is only a little later. So, book 1, the monastery was destroyed. So by this time, we've gone on. There's got to be at least sort of 5 or 6 years, maybe 7 years. By the time we get to this, the people of Summerland and the king have started to help you rebuild the monastery. So we're leaving that in sort of in form of restoration. It is only a little later when you look back to see the tall grey towers of your stronghold silhouetted against the sky. You bid a silent farewell before entering the densely packed trees. You do not look back again. The long ride south is not without incident. On Raiders Road, the highway between the capital and the province of Ruanon, you are confronted by a ragged outlaw band. They demand gold, but instead receive a harsh lesson in the powers of a Kai master. You fight them and they flee in confusion, leaving 3 of their number dead on the highway. After this encounter, you are given a wide berth by all of the other unsavory characters of this bleak and desolate region. In Ruanon, so this is to the south of the capital, you are greeted with a hero's welcome by the Lord of the Land, Baron Vaneland. Now, you helped him. We're about to find remember that? You helped him, so they love you down here. Or us, rather. He and his people will never forget the debt they owe you, for it was your courage that once saved them from the destruction at the hands of an evil renegade warlord. You are made so welcome by the Ruanese that your quest is in danger of being forgotten in the endless round of banquets and celebrations held in your honor. However, you cannot neglect your duty, and the time soon comes for you to leave the mining town and venture south once more. Long ago, the highway from Ruanon to Quorlen was torn in two by a terrible earthquake that scarred the land for hundreds of miles. This deep crevasse became known as the Mucken Gorge, the Chasm of Doom, for its fathomless depths are cursed with a dreadful legacy. It is here, during the age of the Black Moon, that King Ulnar killed the mightiest of the Dark Lords, Lord Vashna, whose body, along with the bodies of all his followers, were cast down into its bottomless reach. The legends say that his death cry will echo through the gorge until he rises again to wreak his vengeance on Summerland and the House of Ulnar. You are eager to avoid the Chasm of Doom, and the long detour to the free city-state of Cassiorn is far better prospect than a visit to the ghost city of Marken. Gradually, the fertile plain of the southern Ruanon gives way to the sparse vegetation on the borders of the dry main. There, like a jewel rising out of the desert, lies the city-state of Cassiorn. Your stay in the city of merchants is brief but a profitable one. A piece of luck helped by your Kai skills gives a profitable win at the gambling house of the Silver Sage. With the gold you win, you replenish your supplies and purchase a fresh mount for your ride to Quorlen. A week later, you arrive safely at the outskirts of Quorlen, and in the evening twilight, you find yourself gazing upon the fortified wall that surrounds this river town. To reach Varetta, you must cross the river, and only here at Quorlen is there a bridge that spans the fast-flowing waters of the Quorl. The highway divides as it approaches the town wall, for there are 2 gates that provide access to its east side. If you have the Magnakai discipline of pathmanship, which we don't, turn to 308. If you wish to approach the north gate, turn to 137. If you wish to approach the south gate, turn to 225. Alrighty, we're going north or south, people. Tell me what you think. Well, I'll give literally 30 seconds for anyone can comment. It doesn't matter what platform you're watching, and I've got 6 people watching. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching via Facebook, I can see it. If you're watching via Twitch, I can see it. If you're watching via YouTube, I can see it. So quite happy to hear any ideas. Where do you think we should go, north or south? Wish we had pathmanship. There you go. Using that right off the bat there. That's okay. We will be fine. What was it right there? That's okay. Alrighty. Jason says north. I was just about to say let's look at north. North sounds good. I like north. Claire says north. We could do that. North it is. A peasant wagon and a merchant caravan bearing the Toa tree emblem of Kasion are waiting in front of the town gate. You bring your horse to a halt and wait in line as the great door of the rust-red iron slowly creaks open. A guard appears and gestures to the wagon and caravan to enter, but he lowers his spear menacingly as you prepare to follow. The town levy is 3 gold crowns, stranger. Pay or turn away. If you wish to pay the levy, give the guard 3 crowns. If you do not wish to pay the tax and try to ride past, well, look, we're not going to try and annoy anyone straight off the bat. 3 crowns is 3 crowns. I reckon we just pay the guy whatever. Let us through. We're hungry. We're cold. We want some food. Let's just go in and find. So I reckon we pay the guy 3 crowns and just whatever. Because some of these guards are allowed to get away with robbery. So I reckon we just pay the guy and move on. So instead of 50 gold crowns, we now have 47. You enter a wide street where black iron lanterns swing above the doors of shops and houses, their oily black smoke staining the walls and adding a pall of gloom to the darkening sky. The street descends towards the River Quall, where flatboats lie moored at the rich merchant wharves. Quallen stands at the most northerly point of the river that can be navigated by boat and barge, and it is here that the river meets the caravan routes to Kasion and the Last Lands. Basically, the Last Lands are next to your country. So ensuring the future of the town. So basically, it sounds like Quallen is a crossroads town that happens to be right place at the right time. At the approach to the wide stone bridge, you see an impressive looking hostelry with stables and outhouses. A painted shield hangs above the courtyard gate, proudly displaying its name, the Barrel Bridge Tavern. The moment you enter the courtyard, a stable boy appears from nowhere and bids you welcome. He takes charge of your horse and shows you the door of the tavern hall. It is crowded despite the early hour, and a roaring fire blazes in its great stone hearth. The smell of roasting beef makes your mouth water. Actually, I'm just hungry thinking about that now. Reminding you that you have not eaten today. If you do not have any gold crowns, turn to 91. Well, we've got gold crowns, so we're good. Otherwise, if you possess the Magnakai discipline of pathmanship or divination, well, we have divination. If you wish to take a seat or order some food, if you wish to approach the bar and ask for a room for the night. Well, we've got money. We don't have to worry about gold crowns. We do have pathmanship and divination. So I reckon we'll click on that and see what it says. Seated near to the fireplace are 3 surly-faced drinkers, their tunics stained with the grime of travel. Each wears a red badge upon their breast embroidered with the crossed swords of Vareta. You sense they are soldiers of fortune, probably in the pay of a captain who comes from the same city. If you wish to join the men, perhaps find out more about Vareta, turn to 125. If you decide not to approach them and wish to go to the bar and ask for a room for the night, 232. If you wish to take a seat and order some food, 172. Well, he did say he was hungry. Should we order some food and then we'll come back to these guys if we can? Because we probably don't want to be drinking on an empty stomach. That's not a good thing. So I reckon we'll get some. Oh, should we get some food? Should we talk to the guys? Should we get a room? What does everyone think? Guys, room, food. What are we thinking? It kind of would be cool to find out from the sellswords a bit more about Vareta, because ultimately we want to get to Vareta. But the only thing is we don't want to tip their hand. And if there's a bit of civil unrest in the north, there might be civil unrest around here a bit, perhaps. So we just got to be very careful on who we talk to as well. So ask for a room, get some food, talk to the sellswords. We could always go to roll of dice. Claire says room. Let's roll a dice and so 3 choices, D10, 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 0 re-roll. 4, which is get a room. The innkeeper is a fat, oily individual with small, piggish eyes and a crooked smile. A grimy cloth hangs by a cord from his wrist. That's wonderful. That's just. Hope he doesn't, hope he's not the cook and bottle washer at the same time. A grimy cloth hangs by a cord from his wrist, which he uses to wipe the bar. He seems unconcerned that the filthy rag does little but smear grease further across the counter. "You're in luck, my friend," he says, rummaging through the pockets of his striped apron. "We have 1 room left, room 17. He produces a plain iron key and sets it upon the bar. 3 gold crowns in advance. There he is there. Looks like Joker's little brother. You pay the innkeeper. Remember to raise the gold crowns from your thing. So 3. So we're down to 47. Down 3 is 44. And we've got the key. If you wish to take a seat and order food, if you wish to eat a meal from your backpack in the privacy room. So we can't use Hunt Mastery there if we want to go to the room and eat food. Excuse me. Okay. So should we sit and order some food? I mean, that roast beef sounded good. I'm quite keen on. So Jason's also said, yeah, get a room first. So we've done that. We've got a room. I reckon we'll sit and have some food. Why not? Taking a seat that offers a good view of the hall, you catch the eye of a servant girl and order a plate of roast beef. She returns with a platter stacked high with steaming meat and sets it down before you. 2 gold crowns, if you please, sir, she says, presenting an open hand that is bloodied by the food. You pay the girl. God, this is getting expensive. 42. And you settle down to your feast. Suddenly, of course there is. Suddenly, there is a mighty crash as the hall door is slammed shut. In the tavern strides, slammed shut or slammed open? Maybe it's open. Maybe it was open then slammed shut. Anyway, into the tavern strides a black-browed young lordling wearing a flamboyant costume of ebony and gold. He makes a ceremonious display of removing his velvet cloak and pompously demands food and wine, and it takes 3 serving girls and the innkeeper to see to his wishes. His manner is so insulting that you are not surprised to see as many scars that disfigure his young face. He must be continually provoking fights and duels. The lordling chooses to seat himself at a table already occupied by a small, thin, inoffensive old man. Within seconds, there is a thunderous outburst of foul language. The lordling grabs the old man by the throat, lifts him one-handedly from his seat, and hurls him to the floor. "You snivelling toad! How dare you sit with me?" he bellows. Bewildered and frightened, the little man fumbles an apology, but to no avail. The lordling kicks back his chair and towers over the wretch, his hand clasped around the hilt of his sword. The tavern crowd view the scene with relish, like spectators at a Vassagonian arena, for the lordling clearly intends to kill the old man. If you possess a bow, turn to 301. If you do not possess a bow, turn to 78. Well, we do have a bow. It doesn't give us a chance not to use it, so I guess we are using our bow. With the speed and grace of movement that marks you as a Kai master, you load, take aim, and fire. Your arrow pierces the lordling's forearm as his sword descends, causing the blow to splinter stone, not skull. He utters a shrill cry and spins backwards, cradling his wounded arm as he falls. "Curse you, scum!" he shrieks. "I am Roark, highborn of Armory. I shall have your life for this, mark my words." Trembling with pain and fury, he staggers to his feet and demands his cloak from the innkeeper before stumbling into the night with a welter of threats and curses. So I guess we have to cross an arrow off our arrow list. So 6 down to 5. "My humble thanks," says the frail old man as you help him to his feet. "I am forever in your debt." Taking him by the arm, you escort him to his table where he gathers up his scattered belongings. "My name is Cyrillus. I am a magician, he says meekly, as if apologizing for some weakness or abnormality. I claim no great understanding of the arcane. My talents are modest by any standard. I only dabble in simple tricks, earning my keep with amusements and sleights of hand to amuse the courtiers of Veretta. Your eyes obviously betray you. The old man is quick to note your sudden interest in the word Veretta. If you wish to ask him about the Lawstone of Veretta, turn to 83. If you do not wish to question him, bid him good night and turn to 239. Well, he seems like he's on the level. Seems like this guy could help us. If he's a wizard, he may know more. Unfortunately, we can't use Sixth Sense or Divination here to find out if he's on the level, but he seems like he's on the level. I reckon we could ask him. I think we could ask him what he wants to do. Yeah, well, we'll ask. Okay, we weren't going to ask the sellswords because we're just not sure. But this guy seems like he's on the up and up. The old man narrows his mousy eyes and looks at you with a cautious stare. It is but a legend. Some say it contained great power. Others say its power existed only in the minds of those who craved to own it. Whatever the truth is, the Lawstone has been lost for hundreds of years. You sense that the old magician is not telling you all he knows about the Lawstone. If you wish to identify yourself and tell him the nature of your quest, turn to 119. If you choose not to reveal your identity, bid him good night, 239. Well, it's twice now it's given us a chance not to tell him any more. But I've got a feeling like this old guy, if he's a bit of a magician, I'm thinking like, and Joe being Joe the way he's written these, we'd have, you know, if something was bad, we'd have a section there where we could choose divination or Sixth Sense. So I reckon we can let this old guy know who we are and tell him what we're up to. Cyrilus's eyes open with such surprise that you can see the startled whites around his mousy brown pupils. Lone Wolf, he whispers incredulously. I should have known. Humble apologies, my lord. I thought that you sought the Lawstone for less than honourable reasons. Cyrillus talks at great length about the Lawstone of the legend of the Lawstone. You learn that it remained in Veretta after Sun Eagle's quest, where it was set into the throne of Lyris, in the Tower of the King. Hundreds of years ago, during the War of the Lawstone, it was stolen by a Ceylonese prince called Cascor. He set the stone upon a great scepter and used it in battle to inspire his fanatical followers and crush his foes. Now, just a quick segue. Joe was a D&D fan, as am I, and I'd never made this connection before, but a Ceylonese prince called Cascor. The original editor for Dragon magazine was a Tim Kask, K-A-S-K. So I don't know whether there's coincidence or a little homage there, but I can tell you that Tim's a lovely guy. I've been friends with him for a while and met him when I was at GaryCon 8 in 2016, and so I think there's maybe bordering on coincidence rather than an homage, but it's an interesting little sort of segue. He believed it made him invulnerable, but it was not so. He was killed on his royal barge during the Battle of Rem, and the Lawstone was lost when the gold scepter fell from his hand into the depths of the River Storn. There were many accounts of the scepter having been found, but they had always proved to be untrue or simply fanciful. It was said that whomever wields the Lawstone was the rightful ruler of all the Stornlands. For this reason alone, it was often sought by evil or unscrupulous warlords, and many had pursued the quest, all without success. Cyrillus does not know where the Lawstone is, but he does know a man in Veretta who claims to know its exact whereabouts. Let me ride with you to Veretta. In return for the privilege, I shall take you to this man. Your basic Kai instincts tell you that his offer is genuine. There we go. You nod your agreement and arrange to meet him in the tavern courtyard at dawn. Turn to 5. A shrill cockcrow heralds the break of day. By the time you have dressed and gathered together your equipment, Cyrillus is waiting for you in the courtyard below. A glorious day, he says cheerfully, pointing up at the cloudless sky with his slender oaken staff. We'll have no difficulty reaching the halfway inn by nightfall. You bid farewell to the innkeeper and his son and urge your horses out onto the narrow street that leads to the West Gatehouse. By mid-morning, you are riding across the gentle hills crested by yellow-leaved trees. The hilltops are shrouded with mist, but occasional rays of sunshine break through the light to lighten the lush green fields below. Time passes swiftly as Cyrillus recounts the histories and legends of the area. You learn that the rich and fertile kingdoms bordering the River Storn have a wild and turbulent past, swept by wars, divided by empires, split by national rivalries, and the ambitions of petty princes who prey upon one another and the rest of the populace. Liris is embroiled in a war with Magadorn, Deldon with Saloni, and Saloni with Slovia. Battles are fought, lives are lost, and the land is pillaged with grim regularity. Only the mercenaries and the crows seem to prosper from the continual conflicts. Well, sounds like a lovely area to visit. Send me a postcard. It is mid-afternoon when you catch sight of a small... Okay, that doesn't look like a lot of fun, that vignette. In fact, that looks like the peasants are not in for a good end of that deal. It is mid-afternoon when you catch sight of a small village on the road ahead. There are many wagons parked on the side of the highway, and a crowd has gathered in a field nearby. As you ride past, you notice a large placard nailed to one of the wagons. Archery tournament, entrance, fee, 2 gold crowns. First prize, the silver bow of Duodon. If you wish to enter the tournament, turn to 141. If you do not wish or cannot afford to enter, continue on your way, 210. I reckon we'll have a crack at this. A silver bow of Duodon as first prize sounds like it's going to be good. So enter the tournament, 141. Cyrillus offers to stay and look after the horses while you take part in the contest. He says that archery holds no interest for him, but you suspect this is just an excuse to take an afternoon nap. You hand him the reins of your horse and hurry to join a line of men waiting to enter the tournament field. The event reminds you of a Sumlending village pageant, and the jugglers and the dancers and the numerous sideshows all add to the festive spirit. Eventually you reach the gate where a cheery old lady is collecting the 2 gold crowns entrance fee. You hand over the crowns, and so we're down to 40, and enter the large tent where the other competitors are stringing their bows. If you have a bow, yes, we have a bow. 340. A small, flat-faced man dressed in a silver-braided jerkin enters the tent and calls for everyone's attention. Quickly, he explains the rules that govern the tournament and then ushers you onto the range. At the far end of the field is a line of targets, each with 10 coloured rings marked 0 to 9. Each archer is given 3 arrows for which he must get a minimum score of 8 in order to qualify for the next round of the tournament. Pick 3 numbers from the random number table and add them together. If you have a Magnakai discipline of weapon mastery with bow, add 3 to your total. Now we don't, because we don't have weapon mastery. So let's turn on this light again, and let's activate the little portable camera I've got there. Oh, it's already on. I left it on. There we go. Left it on. Alrighty. Now I've got, let's see, that's radiation dice. We've got clockwork sort of steampunk dice. We've got an elven dice. That could be cool. Bows. Elves are good with bows. Dwarven dice. I don't think dwarves are totally good with bows. I have a forest one. So maybe we do the steampunk, the elf, and the forest D10s. Okay, what have we got there? We've got 8, 5, and 1. That is 14. So we more than get enough. We've more than got enough for that. So we will click 8 or higher. Your score qualifies you for a place in the final. For only one other archer has scored more than 7 points. His name is Altan, a tall man with rugged features, a ranger from the mountains to the north. He wields a longbow of orange toa wood, and his skill with this weapon is formidable. It will be a difficult contest. There he is. So it looks like he's man of business. So this is combat. This will be our first combat, but this will be done slightly different because we're the target endurance rather than his. So so he's got a combat skill of 28. Now So we've got no bonuses from shield or weapon other than bow. Okay, we don't have that. Okay, so this is going to be a tough. This is going to be a tough one. So he's got skill of 28 now. We really don't. Other than the summer sword, well, we can't use the summer sword. So we've got 15 to his 28. So that's not good. That's a negative 13. So this is going to be a real fight to try and win this contest. Youch. I remember this being easier as a kid, but then as a kid I might not have read and followed the rules properly. But the other thing is, as a kid I remember picking weapon mastery with a bow. So we can't do that now. Okay, so we're 15 to his 28, so that's a minus 13. So, okay, so we've got to go to table of contents. We've got to go down to combat results table. So we're using this first one here. So I think we effectively ignore any of the K's. So this is going to be, so we need to be getting 7s, 8s, 8s, 9s, and 10s are good on the dice. 7 is acceptable. So this is going to be interesting how we go with this. Suddenly feeling like we should have taken weapon mastery, but that's okay. Not to worry. Not to worry. Okay, so let's see. First one's a 3. That means we lose 8 points. He loses 0. Okay, 15, 42. Next one. Oh, 9. That's good. 9 means he loses 5. We lose 3. Okay, a few more 9s and 0s would be handy. 6. 6, he loses 2. We lose 6. Okay, this is getting out of control really quick here. This is not good. This is not good. I'm not going to cheat though. I'm not going to cheat. 2. Oh, yuck. We'll ignore that because it's got K. 4. Oh, he loses 0. We lose 8. So we got 20. What's that? 5. We're down halfway, and he's barely been scratched. 9. That's better. He loses 5, and we lose 3. This is not going good. This is not going well. Oh, yes, 0. So he loses 6. Okay, we're back in the game. He's down to 32. We're only tailing. Come on, we need another 0. We need another 0. 8. 8's good. We'll take 8. That's 4 apiece. We're down to 18. He's down to 28. Come on, we want another 9 or 0. What's that? That's a 2. That's a reroll. 8. Okay. 4 and 4. So he's down to 24. We're down to 14. Come on, we need another 0. 8. 8 is 4 and 4 again. We're down to 10. He's down to 20. Come on. Come on, we need a 0. 9. 9's good. 9's good. We can do 9. Means we lose 3. We're down to 7. He loses 5. He's down to 15. It's coming right down to the wires. Come on, we want a 0. We want a 0. 3. Oh, that's us out. We are done. Dang it. I was hopeful we were almost going to get that then. A loud cheer shatters the silence as Altan's winning arrow hits the target. The villagers are thrilled to have witnessed such an exciting tournament and surge across the field, eager to offer Altan their praise and congratulations. As a tall woodsman disappears from view amid the teeming crowd, you take the opportunity to slip away unnoticed. If you have borrowed a bow from the tournament, you must return it to the tent before making your way back to Cyrillus. A shock awaits you on your return to Cyrillus. Both he and your horse have vanished. At first you curse. I'm just going to turn the light off so save a bit of power on that battery. Where is it? At first you curse him, thinking that he had wandered off to a nearby ale tent for a drink. When you discover his oaken staff lying beside the road, you sense that something is seriously wrong. You climb to the top of a parked wagon and strain your eyes in all directions for some clue of his whereabouts. Suddenly you see him surrounded by a group of cavalrymen galloping away to the west. You count 6 of them plus a riderless horse, your horse. Then you notice that conveniently hitched to the back of the park wagon is a saddled horse. If you wish to take the horse and give chase, 271. If you wish to try and find the owner's horse and offer to buy it. Okay, we'll do a quick look and see if we can. You do not have to look for the owner's horse's owner. You do not have to look very far for the horse's owner. At this very moment, he is striding towards you. Suddenly, he recognizes you and salutes you with a friendly wave. If you won that, no, we didn't win it. You recognize the small, flat-faced man. He was the umpire of the archery tournament. He asks you what is troubling you, and you explain your sorry predicament. I'm sure we can find a solution to your problem, he says, obviously relishing the thought of profiting by your misfortune. He will accept either 2 special items or 2 gold crowns in exchange for his horse. There's nothing really on this list of special items I want to give up. So we'll have to give him 20 gold crowns. So we're down to 20 from 40. You keep your side of the bargain. In exchange, he hands over the reins of his horse. Good luck, Northlander, he says as you climb into the saddle. I hope you find your companion. He is a lucky man to have a friend such as you. You shout a farewell as you spur your new horse to a gallop. The chase takes you deep into the heart of the Veretian hills. Soon the highway dips and twists, plunging into valleys and hollows carved by fast-flowing streams and climbing through the dense woodland that clings precariously to each precipice and crag. You often lose sight of the riders, but your basic Kai skills of tracking and hunting enable you to follow their trail with ease. It is not until you reach a tiny village perched on the edge of a tree-lined crag that their trail becomes indistinct. However, you notice that at the far side of the village, a stony hill track branches from the main highway and ascends into the trees. If you have the Magnakai discipline of pathmanship, if you wish to continue along the highway, if you wish to follow the hill track. So we don't have pathmanship. We've got hunt mastery, but that may not help us here. So highway or hill track is the choice. Jason's got here, time to break out the loaded dice from book 4. Yeah, we should have done that. yeah, we should have done that. Oh, well. I mean, the silver, for those who know the game, the silver bow of Duodon is a really cool thing, and I came very close to faking that last roll, but it was on camera. I can't do that. We've got to play fairly. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll redo this book. If we get far enough into the book and we die, do I backtrack a couple of sections? Do I do it over? I don't know. So we'll see how we go with that. But highway or hill track. I can't remember what I chose first time round or last time I read this. Oh, excuse me. Highway or hill track? Highway or hill track? Maybe we'll try the hill track. Okay. Near to the crest of the hill, there is a small hut built close to the track. Outside, on the porch, sits an old woman who is peeling fruit with a wooden knife. She smiles a gap-toothed smile and bids you welcome as you bring your horse to a halt. If you wish to ask her if she's seen any riders past her home, turn to 110. If you decide to ignore her and continue up the track. I reckon we should ask her if she's seen anyone. None passing by here, she says, her voice heavy with a Highland accent. Track go to top of Beacon Hill, and no more than that. You sense the old woman is telling the truth. The riders have not come this way and the track leads nowhere. It is a dead end. You thank her and bid her farewell before turning around and descending the track. Okay, as you reach the junction of the highway, you see the riders emerging in single file behind the derelict cottage. They draw themselves into a circle in the middle of the village, and although they are out of earshot, you can tell by their movements and frantic gestures they are having a heated argument. Suddenly, the circle breaks, and they ride towards you, with Cyrillus still unconscious in tow behind the last rider. You urge your horse off into along the track and take cover among the dense trees. If you have a bow and wish to ambush them as they ride past, if you wish to attack the last rider and try to recapture Cyrillus, if you decide to let them pass and then follow them. Bow and ambush, attack and recapture, or let them pass and follow them. How many are there? It doesn't say how many. Okay, this is bow and ambush, last rider, let them pass. I'm almost tempted last rider, but then you're going to have them hot on the trail. Should we see where they're going and then try and do something? Bow with an ambush, we might be lucky to get a couple of them. Excuse me. Bow and ambush, attack last rider, let them pass. If anyone has any suggestions, I'm happy to help. Claire says bow. Bow and ambush them. Yeah, we could try that. We could try and ambush them. We could definitely try and ambush them. Yeah, let's do that. Your ambush catches the enemy by surprise, making them panic and fly in all directions. At such close range, your arrow pierces the chain-mailed chest of the rider holding Cyrillus's horse and kills him instantly. Remember to duck an arrow for your action charm. So 4. As he tumbles to the ground, you break cover, exploding through the bushes and scooping the reins from the dead man's horse. Angry shouts echo in your wake as you take off along the highway with the wizard and his horse by your side. 188. Your immediate peril stops you dwelling too much on the reason why these riders should try and abduct Cyrillus. However, it does occur to you that he is neither wealthy nor powerful, and so a poor prospect for a rich ransom. As you reach the bottom of a wooded crag, a stone church and graveyard loom into view at a point where the highway turns sharply to the west. Blocking the road on a charger as black as midnight sits a scar-faced young man. His eyes set in a white and disfigured face burn with a cold, dark glow. You recognize him immediately. It is Roark, the lordling you defeated at the Barrel Bridge Tavern. If you possess a silver brooch, turn to 31. If you do not have this special item, 14. Okay, we don't have that. So there he is there on his black charger. And about ready to try and deal out some whoop-ass. Bring it. Okay, suddenly the riders appear and spread out in a semicircle to surround you. We have a debt to settle, Northlander, hisses Roark, his lips drawn back from his teeth in a contemptuous sneer. I demand payment in full. Madness flashes in his glaring eyes as he removes an amulet from around his neck and holds it high in the air. Come, come, Tagazin, I summon thee. From the pit of eternal pain I summon thee. All right, what's happening now? The skin on your arms and neck prickle with the dread at the sound of Roark's terrible invocation, and you cast your eyes around you for an escape route. Only the churchyard offers a way past Roark and his men, but as you spur your horse through the stone gateway, you are suddenly frozen with terror by what you see before you. Oh, this is not going to be good. Above the church, a whirlpool of darkness is taking form, casting a tomb-like chill on everything beneath. Frost crystallizes on the grass and flowers, and a terrible sound fills the air as the earth begins to shake. Cracks appear in the ground beneath you, and suddenly a score of fleshless hands burst through the frozen soil to grab your horse. Shrieking with terror, it rears up, and you are thrown into the arms of the waking dead. Oh, okay, that's just, you know, an ordinary Monday for a lone wolf. So there's another little illustration there. That's a classic Gary Chalk. I just love how the skeletons have little flesh, a little hair there, but the eyes are still remaining, whereas the eyes are probably one of the first things to go, but it just adds that little sort of unsettling nature. He's like looking at you. Undead summonation. So due to the surprise of the attack, deduct 2 points from your combat skill for the first round of the first 2 rounds of combat, unless you have the Magnakai discipline Hunt Mastery, which we do. At this point, I would have still preferred to have Weapon Mastery. I'm still hurting that we didn't get the bow, but you know, that's right. Undead are immune to Side Search Mind Blast. Unless you possess the Magnakai discipline of Nexus, you must deduct 2. Okay, so this is where Nexus comes in. We don't have that, so we're you know, it's okay. However, we're going to wield the Summer Sword so we can double their endurance points losses. Okay, so we don't need to deduct 2 from our combat skill because we've got Hunt Mastery. We deduct 2 endurance each round because it's bitingly cold, but we can double their endurance points loss because we have the Summer Sword. So their combat skill is 18, ours is 29, so it is a ratio of 11. They have 35 points of endurance. We have 32 points of endurance. All right, so let's go to the table of contents. Let's go to combat results table. So now we go on to this one. So it's 11 or greater. So this means it's going to be a bit of a one-sided fight, a bit like the archery contest was one-sided. Oh, excuse me. Sunday afternoon nap in progress. Okay. Just having a look at any comments or questions here. So it's quite hard. When I go into the share screen so I can read and scroll, I can't see the comments, but I will come back and keep checking them. So Jason says, seem to remember ambushing them. Yes. Yes, it's more than we did that, more that it sort of came back and I remembered that. So, trying to stifle another yawn there. Sorry, everyone. Okay, let's crank up this light because it drains the little battery on this thing quite fast. So for this one, I reckon we'll go with the toxic radiation D10 because they're all, you know, look like they're mutant zombies. So first one is a 5. 5 gives us we lose 1 point. They lose 14 rather. Blooming heck. So they're down to 11. Actually, no, they would double that. So 14 doubled is 28. They're down to 6. 14 doubled 8. 14 doubled is 28. 28 for, yeah, 6. So that's how powerful the Summer Sword is. So 2. We lose 2, so we're down to 29. 29. They lose 10, doubled, so they are dead. So we are down to 29 endurance. That's how quick that goes. So we'll turn that light off. And back to this one. Go back to the page. We win the combat. Oh, actually, I forgot about the. That's right. So that was 2 rounds. 2 rounds. 1, 2, 2, 3. 3 rounds. We lose 6 points of health because it's the biting cold. I forgot about that. So we're down to 23 actually. Okay, so we win that one. So we're down to 23. Alrighty. As you destroy the last of the fleshless skeletons, you see that the struggle has spread beyond the walls of the churchyard from the depths of an open crypt. A shambling mass of zombies are hurling themselves at the riders, tearing the terrified warriors from their saddles. Raw examination has gone horribly out of control. There you go. No living creature is safe from the terror he has unleashed. The lordling turns and gallops away in blind panic. Yeah, see? Playing with fire, bud. Leaving his followers to their grisly deaths. As he disappears, the swirling funnel of darkness slowly fades, and the undead stagger and fall crumbling to dust, which is carried away on the evening breeze. You rush to the aid of the old magician, who lies mortally wounded, pinned beneath the body of his dead horse. As you cradle his head in your hands, his eyes flicker and open, and he forces a whisper from his blood-flecked lips: "Brass Street." If you have the Magnakai discipline of curing, okay, so we're not going to be able to help him because we didn't take this. Oh well, that's the breaks. Brass Street. So he obviously has some important information he wants to give to us about Brass Street. Unfortunately, we don't have that skill. Now, this is the first. Non-combat after. So using the basic Kai skill of healing, we can heal 1 point. So we go up to 24. A trickle of blood seeps from the corner of the old man's mouth as his eyes flicker and close. He is dead. You bury him in the graveyard of the church where he fell and say a silent prayer to the spirits of Kai, the Kai to watch over him on his final journey. A sadness fills your heart, and you take one last look at the oaken staff that marks his grave before setting off on the highway to Veretta. Ah, Cyrillus, we hardly knew you. As we heal another point, we're up to 25. It is nearly dark when you catch sight of a tavern on the road ahead. 2 guttering torches set into rusty brackets illuminate the sign nailed above the door, the Halfway Inn. You recognize the name of the tavern that Cyrillus spoke of this morning, and it grieves you that he is not here to accompany you. Distant thunder rumbles through the hills as you stable your horse and enter the welcoming warmth of the tap room. The tavern is alive with the chatter of merchants, the clink of glasses, and the crackle of a blazing fire. The center of the room is dominated by a small stage on which a conjurer is performing his tricks to the delight of the customers. If you wish to stand and watch the conjurer, turn to 199. If you wish to inquire about a room for the night, turn to 253. Alrighty, so we've got a bit of cash, we've got a bit of coin. The conjurer seems like a welcome distraction. So we could be doing that. We are about halfway through this, so we're an hour and 30 into it. Watch, we need money, says Jason. All right, yeah. So what we might do for the moment, I'm just going to go off camera for about 5 minutes. I'm going to go and refresh my cup of tea. If anyone needs to go to the loo, if anyone needs some water, I might get myself a bottle of water as well, because I've been chattering for an hour and a half, which is probably not unusual, but a bit of water here and there would be a good thing. I'll leave the Project Aeon page up so that we can have a look. We know where we're up to. I'm going to put a little banner that says back in 2 minutes up there. Back in 2 minutes. 2 minutes, will 2 minutes be enough? Should I say back in 5 minutes? I might do back in 5 minutes. Back in 5 minutes. There we go. Alrighty. I will see you back here in 5 minutes. Alrighty, and we're back. I'll get rid of that back in 5. There we are. So, where were we? All right, so we are working out whether we're going to watch The Conjurer or whether we're going to just get a room for the night. Jason says we should stand and watch The Conjurer. Yeah, let's do that. Having removed a bunch of flowers from the ear of a startled merchant and a clucking hen from the petticoat of the merchant's wife, the flamboyantly dressed conjurer calls for silence from his cheering audience before announcing his next trick. 2 children shuffle onto the stage, their bodies and faces completely hidden by long black gowns that are tied at their foreheads. Only their hair, blonde and black, is visible. "I am a boy," says the one with the black hair. "I am a girl," says the one with the blonde hair, the voice identical to the first. The conjurer steps forward and says that they are a boy and a girl, but at least one of them is lying. He asks which is which and invites the audience to bet on the answer. If you wish to bet on this conundrum, if you do not wish to gamble, or rather approach the bar, inquire about a room for the night. Okay, we're gonna have a poke at this. See if so. Blonde hair and black hair. "I'm a boy," says the one with the black hair. "I am a girl," says the one with the blonde hair. At least that they are a boy and a girl, but at least one of them is lying. Does anyone want to bet on this conundrum? Yeah, let's give it a bet. Firstly, decide on how many gold crowns you wish to wager and note this down in the margin of your action chart. Okay, how many gold we're going to bet on this thing? We've got 20 left. Consider the problem. Repeat the only. You decide that there can be only 4 combinations. You repeat the conundrum under your breath before making your decision. "I'm a boy," says the one with the black hair. "I'm a girl," says the one with the blonde hair. If you decide that they both spoke the truth, turn to 50. Oh, hang on, we've got to do a point of healing, 26. If you decide that the first child spoke the truth and the second child lied, turn to 113. If you decide that the first child lied and the second child spoke the truth, turn to 223. If you decide that both children lied, turn to 62. All right, so let's have a look at this. What's Jason got here? If one is lying, the other cannot be telling the truth. So either If one is lying, the other cannot be telling the truth either. So both are lying. That's a good point. He said that one said there's a boy, one said there's a girl, and the conjurer said that there was at least a boy and a girl. We didn't decide how much we were betting. Well, let's work that out. Let's see, how much we're going to bet. We've got 20 gold crowns. Should we bet 10? Leaves us with 10 if we're wrong. Should we bet 10? I'm happy to take suggestions from the audience. We've got 20 gold crowns. How much of this are we betting? 10, 5, 20? I don't mind. We can roll a couple of 10-sided dice here and see how much it is. Claire says 5. Jason, how much do you think we should? How much do you think we should do? Claire says 5. I might get a couple of 10-sided dice and roll them and see what it says. That's 7. That's 7 we could bet. Bet 30. We take credit. We don't have 30. We got 20. What do you reckon? Do you reckon we should bet 20? Mark says 12. Okay. Claire says 5. I've rolled 7. Mark says 12. Glad you're still with us, Mark, in Wisconsin. I thought you'd nodded off on me, buddy. Jason says, no, I'll let you decide. My lunch just arrived on my table. So Singapore is a couple of hours behind us. What, you're about 1 o'clock over there, mate? 1:30, something like that. All righty. Mark says 12. Claire says 5. I had 7. Jason says bet 30. Mark hasn't decided anything yet. So I reckon we'll go with 12. Okay, so we bet 12. So we'll remember 12. We've got 20 now. We bet 12. We see how we go. Jason says that they're both lying. So we'll go with that. If you decide that both children lied, 62. You are correct. Excellent. The boy has blonde hair and the girl has black hair. Your logical thinking revealed that they could not both have been speaking the truth. For the contrary, it said that at least one of them was lying. And if one was lying, then the other could not be speaking the truth. Therefore, there was only one conclusion to be drawn. Both lied. The conjurer pays you the number of gold crowns equal to that you wagered. Remember to add this. Okay, so we bet. So with 20 plus 12 up to 32 gold crowns. There we go. And we get to heal a point here because non-combat. Excellent. Look at that. Poor conjurer made a meal of him. Little slight, you made it here just in time, says the cheerful innkeeper, pointing to the rain-streaked window pane. It's going to be a rough night tonight, no mistaking. You discover that a room for the night costs 2 gold crowns plus 1 gold crown for your horse's keep. A meal of black bread and hard-boiled eggs will cost you another gold crown unless you choose to eat a meal from your backpack. You must, in any case, eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Okay, if you wish to pay the innkeeper for a night's lodging. Okay, so we've just won some coin. So 2 crowns for the night, 1 for the horse makes 3. We can eat some food here. We've got 4 meals in our backpack. But I reckon we'll take 1 from the innkeeper, just in case for whatever reason these meals are needed out on the road and it's raining and we can't use hunt mastery. So that's 4 crowns deducted, 28, and we pay the innkeeper. You collect your key and climb the stairs to your room at the top of the tavern. You sleep sleepily, and dawn rise from your narrow bed to shiver in the fresh breeze whistling through a cracked window pane. As the harsh light of the morning floods the tiny garret, you see to your dismay that your backpack lies half open on the floor. A gaping hole has been gnawed from the flap, the unmistakable handiwork of rats. Any meals you had in your ripped off. Any meals you had in your backpack have been eaten or ruined. Erase them from your action chart before leaving the tavern and collecting your horse. All right, cross that meal off, cross that meal off, cross that meal off, cross that meal off. Lovely. Anyway, that doesn't matter. And we heal a point. 28. Well, you know, them's the breaks, I suppose. Bon appetit. Yeah, bon appetit yourself, Jason. I missed Mark saying 7, but we won with 12, mate. So we're glad it took your last suggestion. Speaking of Mark in Lake Geneva, I'm using my Egg Harbor Cafe Lake Geneva mug for my change of hot beverage. Egg Harbor. Alrighty. The air is sweet with the smell of wet grass. The sun rises above the trees to the east and mist steams from the hills on either side of the highway. By noon, you reach a small village where brightly decorated cottages line a cobblestone square. A shrine with an enormous onion-shaped dome sits in the middle of the square, and in its shadow sits a group of old women. They are tending some shrubs with bright orange berries which grow in the shade. If you possess the Magnakai discipline of curing, which we don't, turn to 250. If you wish to stop and investigate the shrine, turn to 342. If you wish to continue on your way to Veretta, turn to 100. We'll investigate the shrine, I reckon. We don't have curing, but we'll investigate the shrine. All right, so we'll heal another point, 29. The women smile as you dismount and approach the shrine. Welcome, brave sir. Welcome to the shrine of the warrior. You come in search of our sacred crop, do you not? says a rosy-cheeked matron as she dusts the leafy shrubs with a square of silk. The fruit of our aletha plant will give you strength in battle, says another, and offer you a handful of small orange berries. If you wish to purchase some aletha berries, turn to 123. If you wish to decline her offer, remount your horse and leave the village. Yeah, we'll buy some. We've got space in our backpack, you know, now that the rats have eaten 4 meals. Let's see, heal another point. A handful of aletha berries cost 3 gold crowns. If you swallow them before a fight, they will increase your combat skill by 2 points. This would have been handy when we were trying to go for the bow. You may purchase up to 3 handfuls of aletha berries. Each handful counts as 1 backpack item, but you cannot swallow more than 1 handful during any combat. All right, well, we've got space in our backpack. We do have some gold crowns. We've got 28 gold crowns. Do we want 1? Do we want 2? Do we want 3? I reckon at least 2 is good. 3 is 9 gold coins. That'll take us down to 19. But I reckon we take 2 handfuls at 6 gold, which will take us to 22. Aletha berries by 2. And they add 2 combat skill. 2 combat skill. All right, cool. Look at that. Nicely done. And we're supporting local business. It is late afternoon when you catch your it is late afternoon when you catch your first breathtaking glimpse of Veretta. Built on a massive plateau, this city has stood since time immemorial. The walls and buildings are immense, constructed from blood-red rock and crowded together in complicated splendor. Great stone dragons writhe along the battlements, their coiled tails entangling the gatehouses and portals of the outer wall, and spirals of smoke rise from their mouths of from the mouths of angry-faced gargoyles crouching like spires on the top of the roofs and towers that fill the sky. That's very cool. So I'm getting like a sort of a kind of almost oriental flair to Veretta. Yeah, that's very cool there. See the guards, see the dragons. Yeah, it's very cool. The sun is set by the time you reach the gatehouse, the east gate rather. The red-coated guards offer no challenge, and you pass into the wide streets of this magnificent city to arrive eventually at a quadrangle. A pillar of redstone indicates the names of the streets that lead away from the square. If you wish to go north in Hellion Way, turn. If you wish to go west in a coach course, if you wish to go to Flute Street, if you wish to go east along the street down which you have just ridden. So this is Veretta. Now, Cyrillus said Brass Street, so I'm not sure where Brass Street is. It makes no reference to Brass Street. So we'll have to go north, west, south, or back east for where we've come. Again, open to any suggestions anyone has, whether we go north, west, south, or east. I will take this time to heal another endurance point. We're almost back up to our total. I was going to use the potion, but it's always best to wait until we actually need that. So let's see, northwest, southeast. I reckon we grab a D10 and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Re-roll on 9 and 10, and we basically go down the page with that roll. What have we got there? 5. So 1, 2 for north, 3, 4 for coach, 5, 6 for flute. So we go to Flute Street. Unless anyone else has it. So, oh, Claire said east. Oops, sorry, I didn't see that in time, Claire. Oh, hang on, what we'll do, I'll allow a redo. Someone said east, we'll go east. Okay. About 100 yards from the east gate through which you entered the city, you notice a brass plaque fixed with polished brass spikes atop an arched doorway. The sign reads, Guild of City Criers. If you wish to dismount and enter the doorway, turn to 25. If you do not wish to enter, you can continue to the east gate, where 2 streets lead away from the gatehouse, north or south. Maybe we can go in there and ask them what's going on. Healer point. Beyond the doorway, a flight of narrow stone steps leads to a small room. Books line two of the walls from floor to ceiling, and another wall is filled with racks of scrolls, handbells, and parchments bound round with ribbons of green silk. Then, in the remaining wall, a door opens and a tiny creature with unblinking crimson eyes bids you welcome. Instantly, you recognize the stunted features of a clune. "Good evening, sir," it says in a strong voice that belies its small squat. Okay, well, it wasn't exactly strong. "Good evening, sir. Welcome to our guild house. How may we be of service?" If you wish to ask the clune directions for Brass Street, if you wish to ask about the lost line of Veretta, if you do not wish to question this creature, you may leave. I'm going to ask it for directions to Brass Street. So we're healed all up to 32. "Certainly, sir. We have the City Guild of the Guild of City Criers are only too pleased to be of service," says the clune. Waddling over to the bookshelf, he scampers to the top and removes a slim map from between stacked papers before scuttling back down and depositing it at your feet. "That will be 5 gold crowns, sir," he says in a firm but polite tone. "If you wish to play, well, we have to. We're a stranger here, so 522 from 5 is 17 gold crowns." In the dim, all right, so okay, so we've got a map of Veretta, special item map of Veretta. In the dim glow of a street lantern, you unfold the map of Veretta and study the complicated networks of roads and alleys. Brass Street is located on the far side of the city, close to the west wall. Suddenly a bell tolls, its dull clang echoing among the rooftops and towers. It is the curfew. Everyone must be off the street within 1 hour. You will never reach the far side of the city in an hour, so you resolve to find a tavern for the night and resume your quest at dawn. Big city if you can't make your way across town in an hour. Well, I guess you don't know the city, and medieval cities could be quite large. Okay. You ride between ranks of carved stone idols whose mouths hold flickering torches which illuminate this broad avenue. Mercenaries of all races and nationalities pack the street, talking, boasting, or simply dozing in the shadows. At the end of the street, you arrive at a junction where a woman in filthy clothes sits nursing a crying child. As you pass, she holds out a grimy hand and begs for gold crowns to feed her hungry baby. If you wish to stop and give a poor woman some gold crowns, 333. If you wish to ignore her and well, the curfew's on. We don't want to dally too much, but you know, alms for the poor is one thing. What do you think? People give some alms to the poor, or should we just keep going so we're not in contempt of curfew? We don't want to sort of delay too much. Well, we don't have much money left. We've got 17, so I'm going to be a cad and ignore her because we don't want to get caught too short, and we don't know the layout of the land. I mean, this lady could be a charlatan. We don't know that. We've never been to Veretta before. Claire says keep going. I think that's a good choice. I think we'll keep going. You arrive at a tavern, but one that looks more like a huge banqueting hall than a city alehouse. The Inn of the Crossed Swords is the largest and noisiest tavern you have ever seen. A constant flow of soldiers pour in and out of its cathedral-like doors, and the adjoining stable is large enough to house the horses of an entire army. This guy doesn't look like he's having a fun day. You stable your horse and enter the tavern just in time to witness a spectacular event. The middle of the hall has been cleared to allow a horse and rider to gallop the full length of the building, and bets are being placed on the rider's skill at skewering fruit on the point of his lance. It reminds you of part of the training taught to the Kai Lords in preparation for battle, but unlike the Kai horse trials, there is more than just skill and the honor of the rider at stake. In a line along the length of the hall kneel 10 soldiers from the same regiment as the rider, men accused of cowardice in battle. The fruits the riders must skewer are resting on their heads. If he makes the slightest mistake, the men will lose their lives, and more importantly, and more importantly to the mercenaries, all the money the regiment has wagered on the skill of the rider. If you wish to stake some gold crowns on this deadly game, if you wish to approach the bar and talk to the barmaids, if you wish to sit at the table. This seems like a bit of a crazy thing. We're down to 17 gold. We don't want to lose our gold betting, so I think we should. I think we should talk to a barmaid first. Let's go to 299. Patiently, you wait for one of the overworked tavern girls to notice you, but before you can raise your hand and attract her attention, you are suddenly aware of the sharp point of a dagger being pressed against your spine. Your purse or your life, whispers the swarthy-faced mercenary who has appeared by your side. Mind you make your mind up quickly, or my friend may be a little careless with his knife. If you have the Magnakai discipline of Hunt Mastery, which we do, yep, we'll use Hunt Mastery, 114. You silence the robber's whispered threat, slamming your clenched fist into his throat and at the same time grabbing hold of his tunic with your other hand. He tries to scream, but his larynx has been crushed by your blow. He gurgles pitifully as you twist him around to shield yourself as his accomplice lunges with his dagger. It sinks deeply into the robber's heart, and as he slumps to his knees, you draw your own weapon and attack his startled killer. Due to the surprise of your attack, you may add 2 to your combat skill for the first round of combat. Backstabber combat is 15, endurance 22. With a 15 against our 29 is 14. I don't think we need to add the 2. So we've got minus 15 is the, 15 is the ratio, and we're back up to 28. Let's go to table of contents. Let's go to combat results. Let's go to the second part here, and let's get our dice ready. Turn that light back on. Turn that light back on. Turn that light back on. There we go. We can see that a bit better. I kind of like using this setup. Tell me what you think. This is the first time I've tried this with like a light ring around my mobile to use as a second camera here. Alrighty. I reckon we'll use the Dwarven D10 for this. 8. 8 is an insta kill. Look at that. I didn't even have to do anything there. He is gone. Well, that was sort of slightly anticlimactic. So if you have a look here, 11 or greater is the ratio. Our ratio was 15, and I rolled an 8. And if you have a look, the 0 means that Lone Wolf loses 0, and where it says enemy here under endurance loss, it says K back over here in the little matrix thing here. So that basically means that we killed the guy outright. So there we are. If you win the combat, 88. So we sustained no endurance loss. I'm going to turn this light back off, save a bit of power on that thing. Your speedy dispatch of the robbers has earned you 5 gold crowns, which you find in the pockets of the dead men, and the respectful glances of several mercenary captains. One in particular is so impressed by your fighting prowess that he approaches you and offers to buy you a drink. You sense that it is an honest gesture of friendship without any hidden threat, and gratefully accept his offer. So we've got 5 gold crowns out of that. So 22. So there's our map paid for, with a bit of rough handling of ruffians. The captain is an imposing man, tall, muscular, with a strong-jawed face unmarked by battle or disease. His blonde hair is cropped close to his head, and likewise his beard and moustache are trimmed close to his tanned skin. You are invited to join his company, and as you drink your ale, you listen to their proud talk of war, of victories, of loot and wages, but never of defeat. The captain and his men have grown tired of the war in the north. Prince Yunvale of Helan is close to ruin, having sold all that he owns to pay for a war against Baron Mughawa of Karkast that he cannot hope to win. The prince's troops are demoralized, and his mercenaries desert him at the first opportunity. You learn that the captain is recruiting men for a campaign in the south. The war between Saloni and Slovia has reached boiling point. There is much gold to be had in the service of the Salonese Prince Yuvan. while he besieges the city of Tekaro. You have the mane of a skillful warrior, says the captain, his steel blue eyes cold and unblinking. Why not join my company? I have need of fighters, and I pay with gold, not with promises. We leave for Tekaro at dawn. Will you ride with us? Politely, you refuse the captain's offer, saying that you have come to Veretta on other business. What business is there for a warrior other than war? He retorts the captain, to the raucous delight of his men. You finish your ale and bid the captain and his company good night. If you change your mind, join us at Soren. We sail the river from there in 2 days' time. If you have a map of Veretta, turn to 17, which we do. You walk to the bar and arrange a room for the night. There are many rooms and each has different standard and price. A blackboard suspended from the ceiling shows the tariffs. Dormitory 2, single room second class 3, single room hot bath 5. You may choose to stay in any of the rooms, but remember to erase the gold from your action chart. A little note says, if you cannot afford to buy the cabin kit, you'll accept a backpack or weapon in lieu. Oh, well, we've got gold. We can pay. Dormitory second class or room with a bath. I'm hoping that room with a bath will have, maybe not have rats. Not that we have any food left. Jason says single room second class. Yeah, all right, cool. We can do that. Single room second class. That's only 3 gold. We can do that. That's not a problem. Anyone else want any? Does anyone want any luxury? Single room second class, 3 gold crowns. We can do that. Can have a drink of water. Alrighty, I reckon we'll go single room second class. Thank you, Jason. So what's that? 3 gold crowns. Cross that off. That brings us to 19. The room is small, shabby, and bare, except for the battered straw mattress and threadbare carpet covering the floor. You lock the door and settle down to sleep using your backpack as a pillow and your cloak as a blanket. In the middle of the night, you are woken by a bright light. A shooting star of sun-like brilliance arcs over the city, shedding a rainbow of color across your drab surroundings. You watch the star as it slowly disappears before settling down once more to your much-needed rest. It seems as if you have only just closed your eyes when a loud and loathsome clang of the tavern bell fills your ears. There's a little vignette there. Very cool. All awake, a new day dawns from my fine brave lads. As the voice of the tavern keeper echoes through the inn, you dress, gather your equipment, and then collect your horses from the stable. Your rest restores 1 endurance point, which I don't think we needed, before setting off on your search for Brass Street. Turn to 300. As you ride west along the wide avenue of weathered red stone, you take in the early morning sights of this magnificent city. Window shutters slam open as the Verettians awake to a new day, and smells of breakfast and freshly ground jala waft from shop doorways. There's another little vignette there. Definitely classic Gary Chalk artwork. At the center of the city, you cross a square paved with crystal slabs, cool, and pass beneath an archway of polished green stone. Stately halls and public buildings give way to dust-worn shops and a park full of glistening flowers with huge leaves of red, gold, and pink. Beyond the park, a street paved with white gravel leads to a fortified tower, the tallest in the city. It is the Tower of the King, and it marks the entrance to Brass Street. Turning into Brass Street, the sounds of bubbling water and quiet chanting drifts towards you on the still air. Yeah, Jason says here, it's the middle of summer, mate. Why do you need a hot bath? Well, he's been riding all day, grime, rest muscles, that sort of thing. Claire says, you stink, bath. That's why. Yes. Well, that's the only problem with this shared screen arrangement. To read properly and scrolling, I've got to change away from this where I can read all the comments. So I try to do that as often as possible so I don't miss any comments. So please comment. I will get to them. I will read them. Let's have it. Old men in brown robes, their heads covered by hoods, glide silently across the white gravelled path. You ride under an archway and enter the enclosed courtyard of a grand building, a hall of learning. Suddenly, a tingle runs the length of your spine as you sense you are close to your goal. At the door of the hall, there is a sign that indicates the location of 3 chambers: the observatory, the library, and the temple. If you wish to investigate the observatory, 127. If you wish to investigate the library, 21. If you wish to investigate the temple, 320. Observatory, library, temple. Okay. Observatory, library, a temple. Observatory. Well, we're kind of looking for. We're looking for the. Cyrillus was in a bunch of wizards. He said Brass Street. We're in Brass Street. There was. He did say about the Tower of the King. So temple, library, observatory. Temple, I don't know. Library, I don't know. Observatory, and what was the star that you saw last night? You know, that could be an interesting thing as well. What do people think? Observatory, library. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Claire says temple. Okay, cool. We can have a look at the temple. I don't mind. Let's have a look at the temple. Let's have a look at the temple. And you get killed. No, I'm just kidding. As you approach the great doors of the temple, you hear the strident voice of a man preaching to a congregation. His words are echoed at intervals by a chorus of voices. If you have the Magnakai discipline of pathmanship or divination, turn to 195. If you wish to enter the temple, 226. If you wish to enter the observatory, turn to 127. Okay, well, we've got divination, so let's do that. Suddenly, you sense that you are in grave peril, okay, and you listen carefully at the keyhole to determine what is being said by the preacher. And so I beseech you, my brothers, do not listen to Gwynion's foolish and dangerous theory. The star that shone in the night was a warning to us to guard our knowledge, to keep safe the secret of the Lawstone. We must stop all those who would use its power for their own wicked ends. The preacher's words are answered by loud chanting. Keep the secret, keep the secret, keep the secret. The sound of a key in the lock makes you start. The meeting has come to an end, and the congregation are preparing to leave. Quickly, you sprint away and take cover in a darkened doorway. Brown-robed men pour out of the temple and disperse, but a small group are heading towards your hiding place. If you stay where you are, you will be seen for sure. Without a second thought, you push open the door and enter. Now, Gwynion, if anyone's played this before, either played Lone Wolf or followed us followed me with the previous readings, Gwynion will ring a bell. The name Gwynion will ring a bell. The door clicks shut behind you. It takes a few seconds for your eyes to grow accustomed to the dimly lit interior, but the room appears to be an antechamber of a larger hall. Following the faint sounds of voices, you pass through an archway, along a corridor, and into the main hall. Gathering about a circular table of gleaming steel, a group of elderly men are poring over books, star charts, and astral maps, engrossed in discussion. Globes of blue-white fire hang motionless in the air above them to illuminate their work. The old men do not see you until you are close to their steel table. Their reaction to your sudden appearance is astonishing. They look as though they have seen a ghost. There are yelps of shock and startled expressions. Sweat forms on their brows. The sight is too much for one old man, who swoons and faints, falling limply across his books and maps. Only one man remains calm and collected. So there they are. There they are there. Cheers, Mark. Mark says, good luck with the rest of the adventure tonight, buddy. It must be getting a bit late in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Thank you for tuning in, Mark. Always good to have you, mate. I will try to tune in with your next round of streaming as well. Itchy eyebrow. Alrighty. So there they are there, and it looks like star charts and all sorts. If you have ever visited a hut on Raiders Road in a previous Lone Wolf adventure, and I think we have. Instantly you recognize the old man who stands before you now, calm and smiling. It is the same old man whom you encountered in a hut on the road to Ruinon some years ago. The same man who handed you a scroll that foretold the dangers of the chasm of doom. Welcome, Lone Wolf, he says. Once again, the stars have dictated that our paths would cross. Calm yourselves, my brothers. It is he. It is the Kai Lord. Slowly, as the startled old men regain their composure, their shocked expressions change to ones of awe and reverence. I am Gwinion, says their leader. We have been expecting your arrival. He points to the charts that cover the table and to a massive telescope that is fixed to a platform in the domed ceiling. The stars divine the shape of things to come. They are our advisors. We know of your quest for the Lawstone. We know that it is a true quest and we pledge our help. But there are many of our brethren who fear its power. They choose to ignore the wisdom of the stars, and they have pledged themselves to a foolish and dangerous vow to keep hidden the location of the Lawstone, to kill all who seek it, for fear they would use it for their own ends. So it looks like a there you go. So that looks like some sort of star chart, the star across there. Suddenly his words are cut short by the beating of fists against the observatory door. Your horse has been discovered. Give him to us, shouts a chorus of angry voices. Quickly, we must leave, says Gwinion, and he ushers you into a smaller room. A hidden catch is pulled and a secret panel opens to reveal a passage. As you follow the sage and his companions into the darkness, you hear the door to the observatory splinter and break. The passage leads to a vaulted cellar, as cold and as silent as a tomb. Gwinion talks to his brothers, who then hurry off towards a distant portal. As they disappear into the dark, he returns to your side, his face somber but composed. The Lawstone of Veretta is hidden in the crypt of the Cathedral of Takara. Oh, what? So it's not here. So the Lawstone of Veretta is not actually in Veretta. Fine. Okay, great. Means more adventuring. And I thought we were wrapping this book up too. This key will unlock the tomb in which it lies. He produces a small silver key from his sleeve and gives it to you. Okay, cool. I think we might need to mark that. It's tested that down there. My brothers will provide a swift horse for your journey. When the observatory clock strikes midnight, enter the portal and follow the passage to the end. It passes beneath the city wall, and your horse will be waiting where the passage comes to the surface. You are welcome to take any items you require from this cellar that may be of use to you on your quest. May the gods protect you, Lone Wolf. You nod your thanks and watch as Gwinion disappears into the portal. The cellar is well stocked with provisions, and you find that the following items could be of use on your journey to Takaro. Okay, quarterstaff, probably don't need it. Food for 3 meals. Let's look for rats, but yes, meals. 1 meal, 1 meal, 1 meal. A mace, which we don't need. Brass whistle. Yeah, that could be a special item. So we'll put down brass whistle. You never know when you need a brass whistle. A rope, which we believe we've got. A short sword we don't need. And the small silver key, which I'll note down under special items. Small silver LVER Heath key. Okay, there we go. So our little homemade action chart is starting to fill up rather nicely here with all the little calculations of endurance. I've toyed with the idea of doing one of the online trackers, and I toyed with the idea of printing up a proper nice sheet to do it all. But I do actually really like scribbling down the action chart as we go. It kind of gives an homage to using the action chart in the back of the book. So I mean, they're all the ones that we've used from previous adventures. You know, right back to the one I used for the Magnum and Companion when we played Banadon in Dawn of the Dark Lords. And so yeah, book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, book 5. Book 5 was doubled because I had a separate section there to calculate stuff. So I really do like doing it all handwritten. It's pretty cool. So we've got all that marked down. So we will turn to, together with the small silver key that Gwinion gave you, you collect together all the items you wish to keep and settle down for the long wait till midnight. So a bit of a rest, 175. When the observatory clock strikes 12, you are poised and ready to enter the portal. You follow a dry stone passageway until you arrive at an iron door. It opens with a grating squeal, and a gust of damp, earthy air, mixed with a strange sweetness, billows out. Before you, a narrow stone stairway twists away into the darkness. You are forced to tread carefully on the green and slippery steps. At the bottom of the stairs, a rough-hewn tunnel disappears to the west. You press on and eventually arrive at another iron door. Gwynnin has kept his word, for beyond the door awaits a fine liver chestnut mare, saddled and ready to ride. You are in a small copse close to a highway junction. In the light of the moon, you can see a signpost that indicates two destinations, Armory and Soren. Consult the map before you decide which way to go. So let's click on map. We did have a map. Let's see if I can be cheeky and bring it up here. So I did. Where did that map go? There it is. We'll bring it up, waiting for that to load. Now, one of the things I've just realized as well, the two destinations to go, one is Soren, one is Armory. Now, old mate that decided to be a bit of a bugbear and attack us and bring up the dead, and we, tried to kill the old man that we eventually he did end up killing inadvertently. So if you look at the center here, just off center, upper right to the off center is Veretta. You can see Soren and you can see Armory. So so we've come from the right where it says Cassian, and there's Quorlen and the River Quorl, and then the Veretian Hills, Veretta, and then you're now in Lyris, and you can go down to Soren, or you can go south to Armory. One thing I've just realized and remembered is, old mate that attacked Cyrillus was from Armory. Now, he's going to be pretty pinged off that we've beaten him not once but twice. I'm half tempted to say let's ignore Armory, because I just think we've got away from him twice, and he seems like he's a bit of one to keep a grudge. So I reckon we keep away from Armory, and I reckon we go to Soren. And Soren's where the mercenaries were going to be, weren't they? So maybe they can give us a lift on the river, because they said they were going on the river Storn. So I reckon we can take the highway to Soren. The night passes without sleep. The howling wind of the Veretian plain is your only companion as you ride the long, straight, moonlit highway to Soren. When dawn finally breaks, you find yourself on the outskirts of a small and undistinguished hamlet of half-timbered buildings, whose only unusual feature is a bronze statue of a roguish-looking young man that stands in the front of a blacksmith's shop. If you wish to examine the statue, 220. If you should ignore it and continue on your way. Let's have a quick look at the statue. The weather-worn plaque bolted to the base of the statue says that this is the true likeness of Vinyar Jupe. Vinyar sounds cool. Vinyar Jupe, who led a band of robbers that preyed on travelers, especially merchants. Okay, this is not a fun story. His many crimes, including murder, did not prevent him from becoming popular, for he was resourceful and daring and never plundered the inhabitants of this hamlet, where he himself was born. His exploits and those of a score of his gang were ended by the executioner's axe after a trial at Armory. Glad we avoided Armory. Or Amory, whichever. There is a slit in the belly of the statue through which gold crowns can be dropped. The plaque goes on to say that anyone who pays homage to the statue of Vinyar Jupe will be protected by his spirit from robbers and highwaymen. If you wish to make a donation, place some gold crowns into the statue of Vinyar Jupe before leaving the hamlet. Remember, well, we've got 19 gold crowns. I reckon we can throw a couple in there. Why not? Superstition is a good thing. So we'll chuck 2 in there, and we go to page 73. Yep. So Jason says Soren as well. So yes, so we're all in agreement. So it's good. This vignette doesn't look good though. Shortly before noon, you pass through a deserted village. The burnt-out ruins of cottages and farmsteads dot the landscape like charred skeletons, the unmistakable signs of war. A mile or two farther along the highway, you come across a church. A man, his clothes ragged and covered in mud, is moving amongst the gravestones, staggering like a wounded carrion crow. As you reach the church gate, he sees you and cries out pitifully for help. If you have the Magnakai discipline of curing, 173, which we don't. If you wish to help this man, 337. If you do not wish to help this man, you'd rather ignore him and continue riding to Soren. Okay. Should we help him? So hang on, it's calling for Magnakai's skill of during, so the sort of the better healing. I hope he's not got like a disease or something. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into that. Should we help him? Should we keep going? I'll roll a dice. 1 or 2. So we go odds or evens. Turn this light back on. I like this light. It's pretty good. And now there's good illumination in here. Keeps me honest. Odds we help. Odds it is. Odds it is. Oh, Claire says keep going. Why don't we help him? Oh, no. We should I should have listened to Claire. Okay, suddenly a dozen grim-faced robbers spring up from behind the churchyard wall. The wounded man straightens himself and unsheaths the rusty scimitar. Dear, oh dear. An evil, no, we want to go back a page. An evil cackle issues from his black-toothed mouth. The robbers vault the stone wall and run at you, brandishing their tarnished weapons above their heads. We can only evade after the first round. Combat skill 17, endurance 32. All right, let's bring it on. Let's bring it on, Skippy. So the combat ratio is 12. It's so great. It's greatly in our favor. We've got endurance of 32. They've got endurance of 32. Let's have Adam. So table of contents, combat rule. No, not combat rules. Summary. Combat results table. So we're down to this one. So the ratio is 11 or greater. And let's have at it. We'll go for the clockwork dice. Okay, the first one, 0. 0 means we pretty much swing the sword and kill him outright. That's what that K means in the bottom right-hand corner of the ratio. Our ratio is 11 or greater, so we've got the summer sword. That was kind of easy going. I just think it was a very lucky roll two as well to get a 0. So they're dead. I guess Lone Wolf's just better than he thought. Better than he thought. Oh, that makes up the time that was going to be for. We can't evade after one round because it only took one round. I guess Lone Wolf channeled his inner Kai Lord and had Adam win the fight. You wipe your cloak. You wipe your weapon on the cloak of a dead grave robber and turn him over with the toe of your boot. Several graves bear the signs of the grave robber's labor. Freshly dug soil is heaped high, and coffin lids lie shattered and discarded everywhere. The weapons of these men are old and pitted with rust and obviously acquired, like the rest of their booty, from graves and tombs. A search of the bodies revealed 27 gold crowns, a bottle of wine, and a mirror. You may take any of these items before leaving church. Well, I kind of figure that the bottle of wine didn't come from a grave. The mirror, I don't know. And the gold crowns. Now, this is your little moral dilemma. We're down to 17 gold, and we're going to need to have gold to make our way to Takaro, especially if we've got to get on a barge and go down the river. So I'm going to leave the wine because we don't need that. The mirror might be useful. I think we will take the mirror. I'm pretty sure that the mirror is a backpack item because it doesn't say that it's a special item. So we'll take the mirror. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're at capacity for the backpack now. And the 27 gold crowns will have us up to 27 and 17 is 44. 44. And if we get an opportunity to donate some money again to, like, a fat load of good that old mate did with his statue, we got attacked by robbers. So we'll take their gold. I doubt that graves back in the day of like a poor community would have had gold crowns left in it. So I think these are gold crowns that they've taken from people they've attacked. So we'll take them, we'll use them for the greater good. We'll donate them if we get a chance to. 191. You are tired after your long night's ride, but you know you must press on if you are to reach the town of Soren by nightfall. You come to a shallow stream which crosses the highway, and here you stop briefly at a ford to wash and rest. You must also now eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Beside the ford stands a signpost pointing to the west. Now, I don't think we need to... we've got the hunt mastery, and we don't need to eat a meal, but that usually says if you don't need to. So I'm going to eat one out of the backpack. Cross that off. Turn to 102. The dead have no need for gold. That is very true, Jason. The dead have no need for gold. Okay, night has fallen by the time you reach the river town of Soren, and the sky is clear and full of stars that sparkle with icy splendor. You ride the main street towards the quay, where a score of river ships lie docked at the town. Their signal lamps, shimmering red and green from the mast tops, reflect on the cold, dark waters of the River Storm. A board standing beside the gangplank to a large transport caravel catches your eye. On it are chalked the prices of passage to 3 destinations. Luyen, 10 gold crowns. Rem, 15 gold crowns. Eula, 20 gold crowns. A 4th destination, Takaro, has been crossed out and scribbled beside it is cancelled due to war. If you wish to buy a ticket to one of these destinations, turn to 10. If you do not wish to buy a ticket or cannot afford to, turn to 68. All right, well, we can afford a ticket. Let's have a look at the map. Let's have a look at our map. Okay, so we are in Soren. So if you look at the center of the map, just slightly to the north east, to the top right of the center is Soren, and then you've got Kron, Luyen, Rem, Duodon. So bittersweet that we didn't get that bow. Rem, Eula. Eula takes us close to Takaro, and Takaro is further down the river, but there is no the river barge is not going to Takaro, so we can go to Luyen, Rem, or Eula. Now Eula is probably going to see a bit of war, so should we go to Rem? Should we go to Eula? What should we do? Well, we want to keep going. We want to get to Eula. Let's just go to Eula, and that'll do. So let's buy a ticket. Turn to 10. A jovial man with long strands of hair hanging down from the point of his chin lies in a hammock suspended at the end of the gangplank. One eye pops open as you walk onto the deck, and quick as a flash, he jumps down and produces a fistful of tickets from his breast pocket. Welcome aboard the Kazonara, he says excitedly. The best riverboat that ever sailed the Storm. You glance back at the board and notice the prices. 10 gold crowns to Luyen, 15 to Rem, and 20 to Eula. We leave at midnight, sir, so's you best be aboarding your horse in the hold without delay. Once you've decided which ticket you wish to buy, pay the man and raise the gold crowns from your action chart. Mark the ticket as a special item that you keep in your pocket. Okay, so I'm going to go with we're going to Eula, and unless anyone else wants to, go to a different, let's go sightseeing, Luyen or Rem. I reckon we'll go to Eula. If we have to get off earlier, well then so be it. At least we, don't run into the problem of wanting, needing to go further and not having the right ticket for it. So that's 20 gold to Eula. So we're down to 24 gold, and we'll write down ticket to Eula. Done. Turn to 82. The hold of the riverboat is full of horses. Not the slow cart horses favoured by merchants, but strong and sturdy mounts that carry many scars of battle upon their muscular flanks. You unsaddle your mare, load her manger with feed, then make your way back onto the deck. As you emerge from the hold, a voice calls out to you and you raise your weary eyes. It is a captain, the mercenary leader you ran across in the Inn of the Crossed Swords. Well met, my friend, he cries and slaps you enthusiastically on the shoulder. So you changed your mind. You have come to join my band of fearless fighters. Before you have a chance to answer, the captain and his men, who are all considerably the worse for drink, stumble past on a quest for the utmost important, the search for the wine store. You are far too tired and weary to follow. The thought of your cabin bed and a good night's sleep is all that interests you. 3, 4, 1. With your horse stabled safely in the hold of the Kazonara, all that remains for you to do is find your cabin. This proves to be a tiny room at the bow, but at least it has a comfortable bunk, and you fall asleep as soon as your head touches the feather pillow. Feather pillow, ooh, luxury. You wake an hour after dawn and peer out of the circular porthole of the shadowy riverbank. Drizzle obscures all detail and the sky is tinged with grey. As the day approaches, the river mist grows thicker and whiter, and you go up on deck. The captain stands alone at the rail, the shoulders of his leather cloak soaked by the cold drizzle. He nods a welcome and points to the Senna Mountains, now hidden in the mist. This foul weather robs us of landmarks, but by my reckoning, we should be in Luyan by noon. You stare through the grey damp and pull your cloak closely around your shoulders. If you have completed the Law Stone of Solaris, that is, you possess in the Magnakai disciplines of invisibility, hunt mastery, and pathmanship, turn to 131. If you have not completed this law circle, turn to 44. Interesting that you can only get one chance to have this in the right combination of having invisibility, hunt mastery, and pathmanship right from the first adventure. So interesting that Joe's put that in there. Now we don't have it, so we'll turn to 44. Suddenly, there is a tremendous jolt, and you are thrown head first against the rail, lose 2 endurance points. So we're down to 30 from 32. The screech of twisting metal and splintering wood tears through the silence as the Kazunara shudders and dips violently. The boat has hit a boom, a line of logs chained across the river. Oh, okay. I don't think we're going to be invited to tea. I think it's about to kick off. Hell's teeth, cries the captain. Have we run aground? As the words leave his lips, a grapnel and rope drop from the sky and bite into the ship's rail. More follow, and through the mist you can make out the shapes of longboats approaching. River pirates, shouts the helmsman. Prepare to repel boarders. Further along the deck, one of the captain's men is felled by a thrown knife. His comrades rush to his aid, but by now the river pirates are pouring over the side and he is trampled underfoot. Battle order, bellows the captain, and immediately his men respond, linking shields and holding their ground. A swarm of grim-faced pirates are boarding close by. One of their number, a lean man with only one ear and a split nose, smiles at you with anticipation, his lips drawn back from his teeth and his eyes widen in excitement. He is obviously relishing the thought of ending your life. If you have a bow and wish to use it, turn to 170. If you wish to prepare for combat by other means, turn to 92. If you wish to evade combat, turn to 286. Well, I'm not going to shy from a fight. Bow, we only have 4 arrows left. I reckon we have at him by other means. I reckon we turn to 92. The man shrieks a battle cry and lashes out with a heavy-bladed cutlass. Deldenian river pirate. So his combat skill is 17. So 17 from 29. 29 minus 17 is 12. So this is still going to be a heavy-ended fight from our side. 23, and we've got 30 as our endurance. We can evade at any time. If you win and the combat lasts 3 rounds or less, 77. If the combat lasts longer than 3 rounds, 215. Combat results table. So again, we're on the second one. Now it kind of does. Keep in mind, this is a series of books that Joe wrote for teenagers, so it is a little heavy-handed in the sense that with that summer sword, you know, Lone Wolf's pretty good. So, what do you say? Let's use the steampunk clockwork D10. So we're again in the further column there. What a time to roll zeros! What a time to roll zeros! Where were these when we were trying to get win the bow competition? Hey, where were these when we were trying to win the bow competition? So that pretty much kills this guy outright. Alrighty. Where were these when we wanted that bow? Okay, win the combat less than 3 rounds, 77. Leaping over the dead bodies, you fight your way across the deck to where the captain is in combat with 5 pirates. While he attacks with a longsword in his right hand, he parries enemy cutlasses with a bronze sleeve shield that encases his left forearm. So kind of like a buckler, I guess. He fights with cool determination, making light work of the battle-clumsy pirates. Then a war horn heralds the arrival of a new and formidable wave of attackers. You anticipate the captain's danger and rush to protect his back from the snarling mad-eye pirate berserkers. Again, some Gary Chalk there. Pirate berserkers. Due to the state of the battle, I've been forgetting to add Mind Blast. Not that would have helped us with the bow. I'm still not over the bow, you can probably tell. I haven't been adding Mind Blast, but these are immune to Mind Blast. So 20 from 29 is 9. And they've got 30 endurance, and we've got 30 endurance. Okay. So let's go to table of content. Let's go to combat results. So 10, okay. So 10, 9, 9. Okay, so 9 is in the 9/10. Let me just fix this. There we go. We'll go with, I'm going to go with the Dwarven D10. As much as I really want to roll a 0, I want to have a little bit of ensuing combat here. So here we go. 8. 8 in the 10s column. Oh, we did 18 damage, but we didn't receive any damage. So we're still on 30. 18 to them leaves 12. Okay, that's cool. This combat's gonna last longer than 1 round. 8 again. So -6, and we didn't lose anything. We're on 30 still, and they're on -6, so they are dead. So back to captain. We win the combat, 297. The tide of the battle has turned in your favor. The pirates came in search of easy plunder, but your ferocious resistance has broken their nerve. They flee from the decks, scrambling into the longboats to escape. The captain follows them, hewing at them with his sword. He cuts his way to the ship's rail and grabs the pirate leader by the neck. He rams the man's head against the mainmast once, twice, 3 times with a rage that splits the timber and the pirate's leather-clad skull. Yeah, not having a happy day. Ha! He cries gleefully. I've always said that the Deldenians have no head for a fight. The battle ends as swiftly as it began, with the surviving pirates melting away like phantoms in the fog. There are few casualties among the mercenaries, but the ship's crew have been decimated. The pirate berserkers trapped them below decks and slaughtered them. Only one escapes their murderous blaze. Oh, okay. The captain takes command, marshalling repairs and overseeing the burial of the dead. As the bodies sink beneath the dark waters, the Kazunara emerges from the mist to the welcoming sight of Luyan. We can heal a point. That's no combat there. So 31. Luyan, the city of flowers and wine, greets you. Its towers, timbered houses, and fortified perimeter walls silhouetted against the sky. It is in the shadow of the Senas, at a dangerous bend where the fast-flowing Storm undercuts the sheer slopes of Mount Prindar. The captain docks at the Luyan Quay for provisions, and as his men busy themselves with a myriad of duties and tasks, you accompany him on a visit to the Luyan apothecary. The entrance to this famed establishment is marked by a huge stone jar creaking on its chains. The shop is vast and full of things that stir your curiosity. Towers of contained liquids, mountains of coarse-grained powders, and forests of roots and herbs crowd the bleached wooden shelves. The captain seeks the medicines of strength and healing in readiness for the battle ahead. The herb master's eyes widen with delight when he reads the captain's list. They are his most expensive preparations. If you wish to examine some of the potions that line the shelves, turn to 2. If you wish to take a look at some of the other shops in the street while the herb master prepares the captain's order. Okay, we're going to have a look at potions. We're going to have a look at some of the other shops. What do people think? Give you half a tick to think about that. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Alrighty, so what do we think? Potions or other shops? Well, we've got a potion of Lumspur, we've got the Aletha berries, we've got a couple of meals, we've got, we've got our healing. I reckon we should have a look at some of the other shops in the street. You agree to meet the captain in the apothecary in 1 hour's time before beginning your exploration of Luyan. Further along the street, you notice a dusty shop window full of weapons, and above the door you see a sign, Demiko's Weapon Shop, all weapons bought and sold. If you wish to enter this second-hand weapons shop, turn to 98. If you would rather continue along the street, turn to 275. Excuse me for sneezing. Glad I got to the mute before I blasted everything. Alrighty. We're good for weapons. I mean, we could use some more arrows, but we've got 4 arrows. I reckon we continue along the street, have a look what else is there. Oh, this could be helpful. This could be helpful. At the end of the street, you stop to look in a window of a tall, half-timbered shop. It contains a fascinating selection of maps and charts which detail the various cities and regions of Magnakai. You enter the shop and browse the shelves that line the walls. 3 maps in particular attract your interest: a map of Summerlin, a map of Takaro, and a map of Luyan. These are backpack items. Okay, we need to ditch the 2 meals we've got to fit them in there. I reckon we get the map of Takaro and perhaps the map of Luyan. Map of Summerlin, I don't know whether we need or not. Definitely the map of Takaro, because that's where this Lawstone of Veretta is meant to be. We would have to, if we wanted all 3 maps, we'd have to ditch something. The potion, the rope, we've got 2 handfuls of Aletha berries, we've got 2 meals and a mirror. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, we don't even need to ditch the 2 meals to get all 3 maps. Map of Summerlin, which we don't need. We've got a map anyway. We don't need map of Summerlin. Okay. Map of Takaro and map of Luyan. Luyan and Takaro. I reckon we ditch a meal and we buy the map of Takaro and the map of Luyan. Yeah, let's do that. So map of Takaro 4, map of Luyan 3. So that is 7 gold crowns. 7 from the 24 we have is 17. So we have, let's ditch that meal. We have map of Takaro and a map of Luyan. Okay, done. 231 rather. Oh, and we'll heal the last point of endurance back. Forgot to do that before. You help the captain carry his purchases, which fill 2 large wooden boxes. As you stagger from the apothecary, he tells you he is anxious to return to the boat without delay. His men are good soldiers but poor sailors. He fears that without his watchful eye and stern command, they will forget their work and drink themselves into a stupor. His fears are unfounded, for upon your return to the quay, the Kazunara is fitted out and ready to sail. Cast off, booms the captain, enjoying the novelty of his new riverboat command. We'll make Rem by nightfall. The captain is good as his word. As dusk settles over the Storn, you sail into the horseshoe harbour at Rem. The city is choked with people, mercenaries from the north and west, weapon merchants from the east, and ragged refugees from the war-torn south. The captain orders his men to sleep aboard the Kazunara this night, forbidding them to go ashore, for Prince Balon of Ryoma and his mercenary knights are encamped inside the city wall. A bitter and long-standing rivalry exists between the 2 companies, and the captain wisely wishes to avoid any confrontation. Rumor has it that a number of the Stornland's most powerful princes are gathered in Rem to plot the defeat of the Slovians. However, the captain believes it is more likely that the robber barons are conspiring against each other to steal the riches of Takaro for themselves. You set sail at first light, bidding farewell to the slender twin towers of the Rem citadel, which overshadows the city quay. The Storn flows southward through the steep-sided fields of vines, arranged in endless straight rows like waves on a green sea. The weather is warm, and you spend the day on deck watching the traffic of refugees heading north along a highway, and the strange, gigantic toads, the sloats, at work pulling the river boats and barges upstream. It is late afternoon when you sight the town of Eula in the distance. You saddle your horse and shoulder your equipment as the Kazunara berths at the town's wooden pier. If you have purchased a river ticket for the riverboat at Soren, turn to 59. If you do not have a riverboat ticket, turn to 290. We do have a ticket. We'll turn to 59. Oh, Jason, sorry, I missed that you said you only need the Takaro map. Yeah, well, you know, I'm sure when Lone Wolf has finished all this, having a map of Luyan up in the Kai Monastery is not a bad thing. Let's have a look here. You sense that the time has come for you to decide whether to stay with the captain or leave his company and ride to Takaro alone. If you wish to stay with the captain, turn to 290. If you decide to ride to Takaro alone, I don't know. Being with the captain, like you've got a bit of resilience there, but they might you might then attract attention to you. You know, alone is quicker. It's a little bit you know, it might be quicker, less attention drawing, having a crowd of soldiers, but the same thing, you know, strength in numbers. Captain might know some people that can get you through to Takaro if it's under siege for war. So let's see, captain or alone, captain or alone, captain or alone. Let's let fate decide. Odds for the captain. It's odds. We can go with the captain. You ride into Eula at the captain's side, his banner emblazoned with a flaming battle axe fluttering overhead. The town has been turned into a huge army encampment. Its people have long since fled to the north, abandoning their homes and livestock to the gold-hungry soldiers. Men from a dozen nations rub shoulders with warriors of less than human origins, united by common greed. The captain turns to the south, where the highway is clogged with foot soldiers, as you catch your first glimpse of Takaro burning beneath a pall of black smoke. Your heart sinks. This is where the Lawstone lies, in a city under siege from an army of 10,000 fighting men. As you approach a tangle of siege works at the bank of the River Call, the captain points to an encampment in a field to your left, where a blue flag with a gold eagle flutters in the soot-laden air. Prince Yuvan's standard, he says. The time has come to meet our paymaster. If you wish to stay with the prince's company, turn to 204. If you decide the time has come for you to leave the mercenaries, 280. I reckon this is probably a good point to split ways. What do you think? Stay with the captain, part ways, and try and get there, because we're literally looking at Takaro across what seems to be a river. Jason reckons we can leave. Yeah, I reckon that's what I was thinking. I reckon we just leave. Like let the captain do his own thing. We're not here to fight the war. We're here to look for the Lawstone. So I think we leave the mercenaries. You ride along a muddy path running the length of the ridge that overlooks a great stone bridge. High stone walls and a fortified gatehouse rise steeply from the riverbank, and the only access to the city is across the bridge. Claire says part ways as well. Scottish Jeff, g'day. Do you want to get paid or take off and leave? Well, we weren't doing this to get paid. We wanted to just use them for a bit of backup, trying to find our way to Takaro to get to Takaro to find the Lawstone. I mean, we could go and get paid for a little bit of help. That's cool. The only other thing is we might get conscripted. We might get robbed. So I'm happy to take the chance and part ways. I'm glad to have you watching, Scottish Jeff. Cheers. Alrighty. You stare at the battlements of Takaro with growing despair, for they bristle with arches and cauldrons of molten lead. The burnt-out husks of siege towers and bodies of dead soldiers lie strewn in heaps before the battled city gate. From where you are, you can see the cathedral spire silhouetted in the glow of innumerable fires in the center of Takaro. If it were not for this accursed war, you would be in the crypt in less than an hour. You see that before you the path dips steeply towards a line of tents erected behind a wall of earth and logs. They overflow with wounded from countless assaults across the bridge. If you have the Magnakai discipline of curing, you may stop and help the wounded men. Turn to 42. If you do not have this... Okay, we don't have... There's been a lot of prompt for curing. I think we should have taken that, perhaps. We don't have that, so we'll go to page 70 instead. The path ends at the point where the rivers Storn and Quall converge in a V-shaped bank. Ogron engineers and carpenters are... Now, Ogron are some weird humanoids to this, from southern Magnemon, if I remember correctly. Ogron engineers and carpenters are busy at work constructing pontoons for floating bridges which look like enclosed rowing boats. They are destined to be used to cross the river further downstream. Staring out across the water, you notice a dark shadow like the entrance of a cave at the base of the city wall. After concentrating for a few moments, you can make out the dull crisscross of metal bars. It is a sewer outfall. If you wish to ask the blue-skinned Ogrons what they know of the sewer outfall, turn to 133. If you wish to try and take one of the pontoons and row across the river, turn to 163. If you wish to swim across the river, turn to 171. So what do you think? We're going to ask the Ogrons. Are we going to just take a pontoon? Are we going to try and swim? Now, from what this makes out, you know, for a place where we had logs chained across the river, and you've got lots of barges. I know rivers can be narrow and wider and narrow and wider. I'm thinking that this is a good swim across the river to get there. You may or may not be noticed. Pontoon, you know, offers a bit of protection. Scottish Jeff says swimming is never easy. That's very true. I'm not a strong swimmer. I am definitely not a strong swimmer. So keep swimming on the table. Yeah, I mean it's doable. I think it's doable. We could ask the Ogrons. I mean, they may want to know why. We don't want to sort of let slip of what we're doing. You know, people think we're here to help. If people think that we're here for other things, then you know they may not like the fact that we're just trying to get in there to get something rather than try and help them. They may take offense to that. Claire says swim. Scottish Jeff says keep swimming on the table. We can try and swim across the river. We'll give that a shot. Try and swim across the river, shall we? We've just come up on our 3-hour mark. If you've been with us from the start, like Jason, thank you very much, Jason. And Claire, I think Claire's been with me from the start as well. Mark, I think Mark's gone to bed because he's in the US. Kim, if you're still there, thank you. Who else is here? Scottish Jeff is here. Thank you for joining us. Jason says, Scottish Jeff says just got here. Are you in the UK? With a name like Scottish Jeff, I'd be surprised if you're not in the UK. You could be in the US. Could be in the US and just from Scottish background. Oh, it's Jeff McKay. Hey, how you doing, mate? It's Benchley Dale's Jeff McKay. Hey, I wasn't sure. I was like, the name rings a bell, but I wasn't sure. Glad to have you on, mate. So are we going to ask? Are we going to maybe we should ask? Maybe we should ask. We'll ask the Ogrons. You're looking at the hellhole, says an Ogron. When the siege began, Prince Yuvin sent 10 humans in there to find out where it leads. When they never came back, he sent 10 Ogrons in. Ain't never seen none of them since. Another Ogron who is splitting a log with his bare hands overhears the conversation. We hear noises in the hellhole late at night, he says slyly. Horrible noises. He draws a fat finger across his blue-black throat before returning to his work. If you ask one of the Ogrons if you can use one of their pontoons to row across to the hellhole, turn to 179. If you wish to swim, turn to 171. Oh, at least we got a good answer off that hellhole. Okay, that's rather ominous, isn't it? Pontoon for free, yeah. Yeah, jump on a pontoon. Hellhole sounds terrible, yeah. Sounds rather inviting. I think it's full of nuns with tea and scones ready for the next visit, and that's why the 10 humans and 10 Ogrons never came back, because the tea and scones were just so delightful they didn't want to leave. Exactly. Yes, that's it. See if we can ask for a pontoon. They will not let you touch any of the pontoons. If any go missing, they will each receive 100 lashes as punishment for their negligence. They keep a watchful eye on you. Oh, they helped us and they helped us along. It's now impossible to take with a pontoon. You have a long, cold swim. There we go. That's what Claire said in the first place, a long, cold swim. Yeah, what's Jeff saying? If 6 guys can split logs with their bare hands, didn't come out, ... Yes, exactly right. The water is freezing cold. It saps your strength and you find it increasingly harder to swim against the strong converging river currents. Eventually you reach the rocky bank and stagger ashore near the sewer outfall. Unless you have the Magnakai discipline of Nexus, you lose 1 endurance point due to the cold. Well, we're going to lose an endurance point if we don't have Nexus. Turn to 249. There is a gaping hole in the crisscross bars large enough for you. And we'll heal one. No, we won't heal that. Yeah, we will heal that because it's a non-combat section. There is a gaping hole in the crisscross bars large enough for you to pass through with ease. The fetid water that is combed by this grill contains all manner of filth, a veritable feast for rats and vermin. How delightful. However, as you wade deeper into the tunnel, you gradually realize that the sewer is completely free of rats, and in fact seems totally devoid of all life. Circular chutes appear at regular intervals in the tiled ceiling, but they are far too small and slippery to climb. 15 minutes after entering the sewer, you arrive at a major junction where 2 new channels flow into the main course. If you wish to continue ahead, 269. If you wish to follow the left channel, 318. If you wish to follow the right channel, 339. If you have a map of Takaro, which we do have a map of Takaro, 235. In the dim light of the sewer, you can just discern the outlines of the curtain wall and the streets of Takaro on your map. The citadel is right in the center of the city, approximately half a mile from the point where the 2 rivers meet, and lying due east of the point at which you enter the sewer. You fold the map and set off again towards your objective. 269. 100 yards along the passage, you see a flight of stone steps descending to a stone trapdoor set flush in the ceiling, with the ceiling. If you wish to investigate the trapdoor, turn to 107. If you wish to continue along the sewer, 190. What do you think, guys? Should we investigate or should we keep going? I'm tempted because this could pop out on a street. You can get a bit more of a bearing than what the map just is giving us. I'm almost very tempted to do that. Very tempted to see what the trapdoor shows us. I mean, the other thing is it could be a building. It could be a street. Could be a building. Worth having a look if it's a street. If it's a building, it could be the building we're looking for. So I reckon we'll have a look at the trapdoor. The trapdoor is heavy and stiff, but gradually its seal of rust cracks and loosens under the pressure. Inch by inch, you force it open to reveal at last the cobblestone city square. Across the square, directly ahead, is the Cathedral of Takaro. As the square is teeming with guards, you are forced to close the hatch quickly to avoid being detected. You estimate that the cathedral is approximately 200 yards due east. As you descend the steps and continue through the passage, you pray that the sewer will give you access to the crypt. 120. Less than 50 yards along the channel, another passage joins the main flow from the right. If you wish to investigate this new passage, turn to 339. If you wish to press on along the main course, 140. Okay, new passage, main course. New passage, one main course. It's not giving us anything in the way of pathmanship, hunt mastery. Not that we have pathmanship, we got hunt mastery. Doesn't give us anything in divination. New passage, main course. What's Jason say? Jason says keep going. New passage, main course. Should we let fate decide again? We'll, odds and evens. Evens for the main course. Odds, new passage. Let's have a look. Slowly, the level of the sewer water begins to drop as you climb a ramp that leads to a circular vault. You stop at the edge of the vault, sensing a pit in the darkness ahead. If you possess a cult fire sphere or a torch and tinderbox. We've got the cult fire sphere. 80. Oh, whoops! I think we just insta-killed. The flame illuminates a deep circular pit where the floor of the chamber should be. Lying at the bottom is a myriad of human skulls and bones. Their surface is strangely smooth and yellow as corroded by some powerful acid. The faintest sound of it makes you glance over your shoulder. You're frozen with terror by the sight that meets your eyes. A huge lumbering monster fills the tunnel, over 10 feet tall, with thick, twisted limbs and 8-fingered hands tipped with razor-sharp talons that are poised to rip your flesh. Baleful, monstrous eyes protrude from yellow slits in its glistening head, and a long reptilian tail whips behind it. It strikes before you can react, knocking you back into the pit. A peculiar and hideous sound fills the chamber as it claws a lever in the wall, causing a rain of yellow fluid to pour from the ceiling as the acid eats through your cloak and sears your flesh. The last thing you hear is the hideous laughter of the Dakomid. Your quest in your life end here in the sewers of Takara. Insta-kill. We almost made it through without an insta-kill. Dang it. Oh, well. Should we go back and start again? Hang on. If we go back one, I think 90 would probably kill us again. So I think we go back to that. Yeah, that was an insta-kill as well. Go back one more. I think main course then. You press on diligently. So let's do a time rewind. You press on diligently, counting the steps that take you along the sewer until you reach a narrow vault a little over 150 yards from the previous junction. An iron ladder, its rungs pitted with rust, rises out of the water to an arched stone door. Beneath the door, the sewer continues into darkness. If you wish to climb the ladder and investigate the arched door. If you wish to continue along the passage, yeah, why not? We insta-killed once already. Why not investigate it again? The door is old and decayed, as if it has not been opened for over 100 years. If you were to find out what lies beneath it, beyond it rather, you will have to clear away the dirt that jams the hinges. If you have Nexus or Psi Search, which we don't, turn to 156. Only brute force will break the seal of encrusted filth and open the door. Okay, great. Let's see what people are saying. Jeff, what media should I follow? Twitch or Facebook? Any of them. YouTube in there too, mate. There's any and all of them. Any and all of them. Always happy. Twitch, Facebook. Most of my announcements are on Facebook. Twitch is just for when I do this. YouTube is more for when I do this. I'm trying to work out to do a lot more of it other than just Facebook from my phone. So any and all of them. So let's go back to this sewer door. Combat skill 13, resistance 35. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be fairly easy because we've got combat skill. So it's going to be a difference of 16 and the 35. And I've got a feeling that if we roll if we roll high enough, it's going to be insta kill for the door. Alrighty. something cryptish. And we're in a sewer. Well, let's use a toxic D10. 2. So we lose 2, it loses 10. So it's down to 25, we're down to 30. Oh, the radiation symbol, is that a 0? That is indeed a 0, which means we kind of insta-kill the rust. So we're down to 30. Means we can say that we've cleared the rust from the door. Reduce the door's resistance endurance to 200. No, 20. The old stone door creaks slowly open, and as the dust settles, you find yourself staring into the crypt of Takara Cathedral. Stepping into the chill, stale air, your heart begins to pound in your chest. The law stone is here. You can feel it. Beams of ashen moonlight filter into the crypt, illuminating a line of somber granite tombs that lie like sleeping giants under the earth. Clutching the small silver key, you examine them one by one for a lock that guards the legendary law stone. You find the lock and insert the key, but you are suddenly distracted on the brink of discovery by a creature that is advancing through the sewer door. Oh, lovely. This might be the thing that insta-killed us a moment ago. A huge lumbering monster stalks towards you. It is over 10 feet. Yeah, it's it. It's over 10 feet tall with thick, twisted, hairy limbs and 8-fingered hands tipped with razor-sharp talons. Baleful, monstrous eyes protrude from yellow slits in its glistening head, and a long reptilian tail whips behind it. Its hideous, perpendicular, gibbering mouth fills the moonlit crypt as it draws nearer and nearer. If you have a bow and wish to use it, turn to 209. If you wish to prepare for combat, 344. Now, we don't know how tough this thing is. We're pretty much at full health points. We can technically, this is not a combat section, but we're about to go into combat. I'm going to say we can't use healing, but I'm also going to say we could probably grab that handful of alether berries. Or is that going to be longer to do than what? Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I reckon we only got one thing. We can do one thing. We can either use a handful of the alether berries so we get the +2 to our combat skill, or we grab the potion of Lamspur to drink that to restore us up to full health. Now, our full health is 32. We're sitting at 30 at the moment. Our combat skill is 29, with no idea what this creature's combat skill will be. So we're trying to figure out whether we do we buff or heal is the thing. Because I don't think we'll use a bow. I think we'll buff or heal is probably the better of the two things to do. Now let fate decide. We'll use the Elven D10. Odds for buff. Evens, heal. Okay, so we use the potion of Lamspur to heal ourselves back up to full hit points at 32. And let's prepare for battle. The hideous creature gurgles with anger and springs forward to attack. Dakomid. Combat skill 25, endurance 50. Oh, okay, 25. So we've got a difference of 4. It's not completely hard. We can do 4, and it's got 50. We've got 32. So we just need a bit of lucky rolling here to help us. Bit of lucky rolling to help us. So let's go table of contents. Let's go combat results table. We're looking for 4. So there we go. 3/4 is where we're looking. What are we going to use? What die? To arms. Yeah, nothing required, says Jason. To arms, says Jeff. What have I not used enough of? I haven't used the toxic D10 enough. I reckon we'll give that a whirl. So we are combat ratio 4. So we're looking for what's that? That's the third column along. And for maximum damage, we need to be looking at the upper end of the D10. We need 6 through to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 being the radiation symbol. So 6 through to 10 give us the better advantage for having at this thing. So here we go. 3. So ratio 4, 3. 3 you can see on the left hand side where it says number, random number, where it says numbers 3. You bring that along to where it says 3/4 just under the O of ratio. You bring that down into like a cross piece, and it says 7/3. So we lose 3, so we're down to 29, but the Dacomid leaves us 7, so it's down to 43. Let's roll again. 2, okay, not the best rolls. So again, we lose 3, the Dacomid loses 6, so it is down to 37. We lose 3, we're down to 26. What's that? 6, that's a little bit better. So 6, it loses 10, we lose 2, so we're down to 24, but it is down to 27. So we're starting to even back up with our endurance points, our health. So we'll roll again. Oh, hang on, we just lost the light on that. There we go, a bit more light. I'm using all my batteries here. So what do we say? But that was a 0. So that's a radiation symbol, so a toxic symbol. So that's a 0. So we come down and we lose 0, but it loses 16. So we're on 24. It loses 16 to go to 11. Now this thing's not undead, so we can't double the points. So there's that. What's the last one? 5. 5. So it loses 9. We lose 2. So it is down to 2. We're down to 22. 1. And 1 will finish it off. It loses 5. So it's at -3. We lose 4. Oh, hang on. I think Jason said stop. Have I missed something? Oh, if you reduce its endurance to 25. Okay. Yep, no, that's right. I forgot. I didn't read enough ahead. Okay, so we bring it down to 25 or less. So we reverse it. Thank you, Jason. I was getting a little excited there. So we move that back up to we're on 24. It's on 11 because it was on 27. We hit it for the big 16. It's on 11. So we'll stop. We'll go to 310. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I got a little carried away there. I thought this was like the end of level big bad guy, and I was getting into it. So yeah, cheers. Alrighty, so we'll turn to 310. The crypt floor is crawling with the severed remains of the monster, which is writhed blindly forward with maniacal intent, spider-like, with a severed hand climbs your leg and embeds its talon in your flesh. You lose 2 endurance points. Oh, okay. Oh, this is kind of, it's doing a bit of Terminator 2 here by the look of it. You lose 2, so we're down to 22. As you fight to free yourself from its vice-like grip, the torn pieces of the Dacomid's body gather themselves together for another attack. If you wish to leap forward and strike the creature before it has completely formed, turn to 323. If you wish to unlock the tomb and retrieve the Lore Stone, turn to 293. So we're going to attack it before it forms, or we're going to try and get the Lore Stone. Now the Lore Stone is probably going to give us some sort of like a power boost. But are we going to have enough? Are we going to have enough that we can get to it and unlock the tomb before the creature attacks us again? Do we strike the creature before it's ready? Do we go for the Lore Stone? Well, the Lore Stone is our end goal, and I reckon it's going to be something. If the Summer Sword, when we got it in book 2, gave us like a boost of hit points and restored us, that's good. So I think that we'll retrieve the Lore Stone, because I think that's going to give us a boost. It's going to we're 22 down from 32. This thing we took from 50 down to 11, and it looks like it's starting to reform. So I'm going to go with, I think the Lore Stone's going to give us a boost, and we're going to unlock the tomb and grab the Lore Stone. That's it. I reckon that's what we're going to do. Jeff says, trying to read between the lines, it looks tempting to get the Lore Stone. And Jason says Lawstone. I reckon that's what we'll do. I reckon we're going to get a boost from the Lawstone like we did when we got the Summer Sword in book 2. As the door creaks open, a sunlight radiance pours from the tomb and floods the crypt with golden light, its searing intensity paralyzing the Dakamid. You grasp the Lawstone and your senses reel with newfound wisdom and strength. Instinctively, you raise your weapon and strike the monster at the base of its hideous skull. It shrieks and dies instantly. Remember to erase a small silver key from your action chart. Turn to 350. Oh. If you're a Lone Wolf fan, you know what turn to 350 means. Before your eyes, the Dakamid's skin ripples as if a wave were washing beneath its skin. Suddenly, a crisscross of wrinkles appears, and layers of transparent bone peel and fall from its shell-like skull. Its body becomes hunched, shrinking and folding by the second until all that is left is a film of dust on the floor of the crypt. Time has at last caught up with this ancient terror. There it is there. Oh yeah, that's pretty nasty. It's probably what was on the cover in various interpretations here. So you know, the original book, you can see, hang on, you can see it kind of looks like it could be the Dakamid. So it gives away, it's got more teeth than that thing there. This one has the run-in with the green showing up on the green screen. That one's got the cover of the graveyard where old mate summoned him, but then the Red Fox has also got what looks like it could be the Dakamid on it in a different interpretation. But anyway, we are going to page 350, and oh no, we're on page 350 and we're reading. Back to it, sorry, segue there. As the golden light begins to fade, you stare at the object of your quest, the Lawstone of Veretta, but all you hold in your hand is a hollow sphere of glass, transparent and unremarkable to look at. Your quest has succeeded, for the power of the Lawstone has been transfused into your body and mind. Its strength and wisdom is now part of you, and the transfusion signals the beginning of a new and deadly challenge on your quest for the Magnakai. But be warned, the quest will draw you into a sinister realm where a malicious and terrible evil has grown in power since Sun Eagle first completed the Magnikai quest. If you possess the courage of a true Kai master, the challenge and quest awaits you in Book 7 of the Lone Wolf series entitled Castle Death. Cool. Well, we've done it. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I just think that's cool. Cool. Thank you very much for joining me. Jeff, thank you. Jason, thank you for being with us for the entire time. Claire, thank you for joining us for the entire time. Mark, if you watch this back, thank you for joining earlier on. Kim, if you're still here, thank you for joining us. If you watch it back later, thank you for joining us. Who else did we have pop in? Mark, Jason, Kim. No, thank you very much, everyone. It was fun. We've run over by almost half an hour again, probably because this being the step from the basic skills to the new skills, we had to run back through and have a look and choose right from the start. We weren't just adding another skill to the list. We had to renew our list. So maybe that's where we've run over a little bit as well. Jason says, thank you and have a great Sunday. You are very welcome, Jason. Thank you for joining us, mate. Jeff says, Joe Diva stuff is great. Yes, it is. I love Lone Wolf. It's been a lot of fun doing this. It's always fun. I mean, it would have been Joe's birthday 2 days ago. He would have been 65 if he was still with us. So I love to do this, thinking that even from beyond the grave, he's still with us and playing along too. And I think he would enjoy the fact that people still enjoy his books from nearly 40 years ago. What have you got here, Jeff? Glad I was here. He's glad to have you, mate. Stuff from my youth, mine too, bud. I'll be 42 this year, and still, whenever I read these, I still feel like I'm that kid of 8, 9, 10 when I first started reading these. I think I first got these in '89. I think they were a bit slow getting to the territory. Came out in '84 in England. I think they're a little bit slow getting to Australian territory. I don't think I got Fire on the Water until I was in 1989 when I turned 10. It would have been 89 or 88. I can't remember which. But yes, 30 years on, still holds a lot of appeal. Cool. Well, thank you ever so much for joining me. We can pop that out. I'll go back to full screen. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. I enjoy doing this. If you haven't, please, a bit of shameless plug, please like the Antipodean D20 on Facebook, follow me on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube. On YouTube, if you hit the little bell, you'll get a notification when I do this. If you can like the video, that'd be great. It all helps towards keeping this going. I don't get any sort of sponsorship or money from any of this sort of thing. People have told me I need to do something like that, but I haven't been able to sit down and look through the nitty-gritty yet. I just do this because I enjoy doing it. If anyone does want to sponsor me, tell me. Yeah, no, it's been dry throat. It's been a lot of fun. Alrighty, I will leave you to it. Thank you very much. My name is Heath. This is the Antipodean D20. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Have a great day. If it's 2 a.m. and you're not a shift worker, go to bed. Cheers.